is great. And
oh, now I've hit go live. So, all right. Ooh. Welcome back, guys. Don't be stupid. Watch us talk about Qpid. Been waiting all day to say that. That's all I got. That's
that a
it.
reference to anything?
No, just stupid rhymes with Qpid.
Oh.
That's all.
Okay.
That's dad jokes level 1. That's like
you, sir.
Basement.
You, sir, are a real wonderful, special boy.
I will accept this.
Excellent.
Best compliment I'll get today from you. So.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
Yeah.
22 people here with 24 likes. That's what I like to see. People have been here earlier and hit like. So if you haven't hit like yet, hit like. See if we can get that number up a little bit. But thank you so much.
Yeah. We are here to talk more TNG. And pretty iconic TNG as well. So that's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Q episode. So cha-ching, and returning Vash and woohoo. And we know what happens. Like they go traveling for a while. Then he shows up on DS9. Yeah.
And more importantly, the return of the Horgon, and it was used appropriately. Bow chicka wow, wow.
Right.
When a Horgon is brought, it's brought. You know.
Yes, and it's Anyway, we got 2 super chats.
Oh,
so that is great. Thank you so much. Excellent. Not a band account puts in $5. Gates McFadden and Marina Sirtis are underused in this episode. Hitting someone in the back, hitting guys in the back with pots. Gates is a choreographer and Marina knows fencing. Does she though? They were underused, and yeah, I thought that was kind of a sexist. I thought this when I was kind of a sexist way for women to be portrayed. They should be fighting. They should have had a fight scene, or the fencing would have been great. But just using a random pot to smash somebody over the back of the head like an intruder into your house, that's so 1960s television, you know?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, Data doesn't fight anybody because he's the Friar.
Oh yeah, he should have been kicking ass.
You know what I mean? Like, they weren't given swords. They could have taken swords, but everyone stayed to their role in the scenario. And so I don't have any problem with that. It's just, everyone was being in character. That's not...
Funny enough, the thing that Data throws into the fire thing, you see bounce, and fall out of the fire pit before the thing explodes. You actually see it fall out. Which, come on, guys. Oh, nobody will notice. It's fine.
It'll never be in HD. What's HD? Shh. Good. That's the right answer.
Yes.
Oh dear. But I mean,
you can see it in real life. It's fine.
Yeah. But I mean, the entire cast is underused because it's a focused story.
Yes.
Like you're saying that, but they all are. It's just a roster of how. I mean, Guinan's thoroughly underused.
You think? O'Brien is,
Yeah. Well, Keiko
is just right.
Yeah. Keiko's used too much this episode.
Oh yeah, that's 1000% true.
Come on, super chat for that joke. That Stuart approved joke. I don't mind Keiko, but Stuart does not mind Keiko.
I just hate Keiko.
I don't know why they wouldn't have made Guinan because they could have sure. I mean, I guess she hasn't been in the season really. Well, I mean, I said we've just the last couple, but why couldn't they have a shot of her when they disappear out her like? That's all you need, a reaction shot to say, "Oh, she sensed it." Oy.
Yeah. Well, they do show, as Alyssa Jericho says, that Troy's not really great at archery, so they are trying to learn things, I guess. She's and just hits Data, but yeah. Anywho, Ozzy Maderos, $5. All hail the Spirit Commander and Super Captain Foley. Sir, I am not a merry man. I must protest. I am not a merry man.
I'm sure Ozzy is. I'm sure you're merry. Don't put yourself down like that.
It's true. Ozzy.
Especially on our drunk lives. We're all merry on those.
Yeah.
Glug, glug, floor. But speaking of, we'll be doing another Drunk Yards live near the end of this month. We'll let you know when. So look forward to that, guys. Topic and date TBD. Vibe TBD. Drinks
TBA, to be announced.
or to be determined. I mean, both works. But yes.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Fine.
TBDA.
Sure.
TNA.
We should do it on Valentine's Day.
That would be the TNA one.
Significant others.
Yeah, just have them do the whole live.
No. That's not what I meant. But okay.
Yes. All right. So I will start sharing. You chat to the people, and I want to see 85 people when I come back. That's my goal. 85.
Good luck with that.
Thank you.
We have 42 here with 40 likes, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't. Let's get up to at least 45 likes. I think we can do that. And Eugene puts in 250 rubles. I am not a merry man. I don't know. Matt Boardman also says the same thing. A lot of people, not happy people in this chat today. Are you talking about yourselves, or are you talking about? Are you quoting something? Not sure. Right. So yes, guys, if you can help us out via Super Chat, please consider doing so. Don't forget there is a last Super Chat slot available at the end of the thing. So if you want to start, getting ready to get that sniper Super Chat in there at the end, please consider doing that as well. It's a great way to help us out. Let us know that you love us and show your support for the channel, as well as getting your voice heard, because we do read all the Super Chats verbatim. So if you can, please do so. Also consider joining the channel for the monthly way to help us out, or head on over to Patreon/Trekyards. It's another monthly way as well. We look forward to seeing you guys all there joining us. And if you join the lives quite regularly, it's a good way to be a funner part of the live chat by actually getting little emojis and stickers that you can use in the live chat. Plus you get a badge beside your name. Shows us how long you've been a member of the channel, and we really appreciate that. So you can also head on over to Eagle Moss and a whole bunch of other cool stuff. Get some discounts by using the discount codes and links down in the description of every video. So please consider doing that as well, and helping us that way. So, or you can set a PayPal. PayPal is another way. So yeah, if you do send a PayPal, though, just make sure that you told us that you've done so that we can read your comment or question via the email. So yeah.
Did I get my 80 viewers, Stuart?
No, you did not.
Ah.
I got my 45 likes, though, just now.
Yeah. That's good, at least.
But 44 people watching, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't. And it's funny because I saw that this was the next one. I'm like, oh, we should save that for like closer to Valentine's Day. But whatever. It is what it is.
Pretty close.
It's a week. It's giving you guys a heads up, because a lot of people might not realize that Valentine's Day is on its way because of quarantine and stuff. So it's giving you a chance to not make a huge mistake that day by not doing anything. We're giving you a week's notice, guys.
Because that's what we're here for.
That's our public service, to help you guys out.
Yes. So Stuart.
Yes.
We're nearing the end of season 4.
Yes.
Nearing the plateau, or the high peak, and then the simmer, and the where we've had good ideas upon good ideas upon good ideas. This one of those good ideas. Simple yes or no for you and the audience. Start with a simple yes or no. Is this a good idea episode?
Yes.
Okay, guys, what do you think?
While they're doing that, Eugene, 250 rubles. I am not a merry man.
Eugene, I'm sure you are as well.
And I know, right? And Dave Stelzer, $2. The sheriff in Qpid is the original Palpatine. What do you mean by that?
The original actor played Palpatine.
No, he's not.
No?
The sheriff in Qpid is the sheriff of Nottingham, which is Q.
Oh, he meant the other guy.
It's not, though. It's not him. Just saying.
Guy of Gibbon. Clive Revell. Let's have a look.
Oh, original Palpatine. No, I still don't think so. I think it was a woman that they used, an old woman, and with monkey eyes. Anyway.
Long career. He was the Emperor, the voice of the Emperor in Star Wars Episode 5. So yes, he was the original Emperor.
Voice. Ah, okay, cool. Well,
I mean,
good to know.
The voice is definitely recognisable. He was Kickback in the Transformers TV series.
Nice.
Magnum PI, Owl and Chipmunks, additional voices, very important additional voices. MacGyver, Mighty Mouse, The Adventures, DuckTales, Snorks, The Smurfs. Definitely a voice actor because he has a voice. Robin Hood, you play the Fire Marshal in Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Nice.
Star Wars X-Wing in Babylon 5.
Oh.
TIE Fighter, so there's 3 Star Wars things.
Cool.
And also it's in both Transformers Revenge of the Fallen and the game of Revenge of the Fallen.
Really? Interesting.
There you go.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, yeah, so I thought this episode was mainly in, them as Robin Hood in Nottingham, Sherwood Forest. But I was wrong. That's not a very long part of the episode at all, really. It doesn't happen till like 23 minutes in.
It was like 50-50.
Yeah. But I don't remember the rest. Like, that was like kind of watching a new Trek episode for me this time around. So that was actually kind of nice. I remember the ending with them buggering off with their little safari outfits, but I did not remember the beginning of this episode at all. It's one I think that the Q storyline kind of takes away from that because it is kind of fun and out of the box. And there's really nothing else going on with the other thing. It's not like it's a B plot or anything. It's, so I had forgotten all about that, which was kind of neat to see. Overall, though, I do enjoy it. It is a fun escape one, kind of like a holodeck episode, if you will. It's fine. It's fine. It's nothing spectacular. It's nothing great. There's not a whole lot to talk about, really.
But it's one of the iconic episodes.
It's part of the Q series. It's fine.
But everyone knows the lines. Everyone knows some of these scenes. That's what I mean.
True.
It's really absolutely iconic. Of all of TNG especially. It's like,
true.
You ask people to have, 20 quotes, and there'll be at least 2 from this,
Yeah. Yeah. Which we've seen quite a few of. One already stands out.
People are throwing them in, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I know for me, just before I say my review, I remember the Star Trek Encyclopedia DVD CD thing. That was obviously the only way you could watch clips.
Yeah.
And so the Merry Man and the Smash and the loot thing was one of the clips. So I've seen that clip dozens of times because that was one of the few clips you had. So I know that very well. That bit.
Yep. No, I hear you. Those are the ones that get recycled. That's why everybody knows them. So.
Yep.
So yeah, I enjoyed it. Again, to say it's not important is not really true because it does tie in with past episodes and future episodes. But it's so just kind of I don't know, something about it. It's okay. It's a fun entertainment one, but it doesn't, as far as Star Trek goes, it wouldn't be on my really to watch list. For Q, obviously it would be, but that's it. So yeah, the Q collection.
The Q saga. When I guess he was also working on the film because he has very long back hair, which stands out because he never has long back hair. Like what is? I guess if it was something else, they'd have long hair. They had like trim your sides, but not your. It's quite strange. Didn't.
Oh, Judge Links 81 is here. Good to see you, sir. One of our moderators. Haven't seen you in a while.
Good. Okay, so Stuart, lukewarm from Stuart.
Yeah.
And like I say, because of its iconicness, I hope people are going to join in. But 59 viewers isn't very much for. So we'll see. I hope more people join in as we start into it. So yeah, I mean this one's a funny one because obviously you remember the bits you remember, and you don't remember the bits that aren't memorable. The problem is the first half is almost more interesting than the second half, because the second half is a gag. It's not deep. You know that Marion goes. You know that Vash goes nowhere, and the rest of the cast don't do anything, and all Picard does is run around a bit. Like, there's no meat there beyond the visuals. There's no, you know what I mean? The first half is extremely characterful. Patrick acts like he's never acted before. He gets laid instantly and then has to deal with, his other crush walking on him and the acting. You've never seen that side of him before. He's never had 2 women in the same room and see that nuance. So, really interesting, character piece for him until the second half. It gets all dropped and it's quite dull in terms of he's very simple. So I really liked the nuance of everything in the first half, and it just gets actioned in the second half.
I mean, you say that, and that's a huge assumption to make that he got laid. Because I was going to say there's some wonky time shenanigans going on here.
But they cut to the next morning and having breakfast. She sees him at
we
night,
don't know,
and then they wake up this morning.
We don't know what's the next morning, and but Troy already said it was really late.
Yeah.
So I got the assumption that he got back to his quarters pretty late, ran into her. Then there's opening credit sequence, title sequence, and then it's like there's still. They haven't changed. If he was wearing something else, I would say that was the case.
Well, she only brought.
It's very much.
Okay.
But it's very much a hard cut of like kiss. Now we're eating. It's breakfast. It's fine. It's not this. He's not even putting on or coming out of the bedroom. Is it like?
Well, that's
there's
too
no
explicit.
indication that anything happened.
There's every indication something happened. What are you on about?
There's no indications that anything happened.
Hold on, let me go back to the scene. Everything indicates. What do you guys think? Did he have a nice night? Oh, let me find the...
Olivia Julia's $5. I got pushed over here. I reject to seeing Samuel in tights.
Oh.
Well, then you've never seen Samuel in tights. Stress me. Once you have.
You never go back. Yeah, I do remember...
No object.
It was a Tudor's day in school. We had to wear tights as part of the uniform that day, which wasn't great, but whatever. So yeah, it fades to black from the kissing, which a fade out is different to a hard cut because it's like that implies time is passing. And then,
but it always fades out too.
But then you say they're wearing the same clothes. He's wearing his uniform both times. That is his only clothes, and she only came in with one. She only came in with one outfit. She doesn't bring a second outfit.
She's wearing the dress, the night before dress. I get it, but he should have been wearing something else, or coming out of the. She should be saying that thing. He should be coming out of the other room now, changed into his uniform. The way it's presented is he gets there, they like, oh, nice to see you, kiss. Do you want to have something to eat? Sure, it's breakfast time. All right, cool. I was up really late because I was drinking coffee in my office like not 3 hours ago.
So you're saying he was up until literally breakfast time reading,
could
and
have
then
been.
She comes in, and so she decides to surprise him at 6 a.m. being a bit horny and whatever.
Time is relative on a ship because the ship you came in on, or the planet you got beamed off of, is not necessarily matched up to the time of the ship. So there's going to be shit like that going on all the time.
Yeah, but you'd be considerate to the person you're going to see, though. You'd say, computer, what's the time in the ship? 8 a.m. Okay, I'm not going to go see him right now. Or 5 a.m.
Not necessarily. Plus, you see Riker and 10-4 were drinking. Like, is he just coming off the night shift then? Or what's he doing?
Well, Beverly's going for tea, so it's now the morning. He's in there for a breakfast drink. That's just breakfast. Then I'll go on to duty, and then they're going to go to the Symposium thingy later. No, I think it's a PG show, and
I was going to have a whole discussion about this when we got to the thing because did they have sex or not? It's obvious. It's implied. Maybe they did, but the way it's presented, it doesn't. You wouldn't think about that. I didn't think about that at all.
I'm 100%
until I started realizing.
It's because
even in the 60s with the PG and the rating system back then, Kirk putting on a boot after the commercial break, all you needed to know that they had sex. There's nothing like that here.
I think
not one thing.
Also, though, it's the Picard character. Picard character. He isn't that sort of guy, so they want to keep it very whatever. But it's the universal language of you stayed for breakfast. You know that, and like if there wasn't food there, I could agree. It was just time passed. But it's like breakfast. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
So I think
that was a whole discussion for that part of the review, but we've just messed that up. So
well, we can. Hopefully, people will be here so we can jump in. But yeah, it's like I say. So I really like the fact the first half is super unusual for Picard. The second half is great visually but has no depth. So I kind of enjoyed the first half more. And obviously, because we all know what happens in the second half, you know what I mean? There's not a lot of rewatchability in the second half because you know what's happening. Whereas the first half, you can really appreciate the acting.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Like I said, watching the first half was like a new episode for me. Kind of.
Well, me too. I mean, I didn't remember
forget about that.
Any of it.
Yeah.
But I just think the acting was way better in the first half. And I appreciate that Vash, in the first time we see her, she was very one-dimensionally, three-dimensional. You understood exactly who she was. This week, she was actually way more depthful until the second half. Like I say, they just simplify everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can tell she genuinely is there to see him. She's genuinely hurt she's not been told. Like, they spend a lot of time talking about that. They don't need to if she didn't actually care. care as much as I can make pit stops and slay, but I still care and you still care. Yeah, I don't know. It's just an interesting character piece, and you're right. I was surprised how much 50-50 it was, and yeah, I will say the second half feels longer than the first half almost. Like
absolutely,
feels like they spend a long time. If they don't really.
Yep. Nope.
It's weird. It's weird.
It is very weird.
And I really wish. I know we were lucky that when 7 of 9 appeared in Picard, neither of us stayed for the title, so we didn't know. At least I certainly didn't. Don't think you did either. I wish they hadn't have put John Delancey in the... I know they have to, but if they hadn't, can you imagine the reveal to people? Vash is big enough, and Delancey too, but by showing John Delancey, it would give the reveal away. Because that moment, if you didn't know it was coming, is like
the name of the episode, it gives it away. With Qpid.
Bastard. It's true! Damn it! Otherwise I thought it'd be such a good sort of reveal.
Mm-hmm.
But it is so unnecessary to have them both in the same thing, and that's kind of the joy of it. It's like, wow, we're doing the sequel to the sequel to the sequel. Which is not...
Well, if this was New Trek, we would have been like, are they going to have a Vash and Q spin-off series where they go on adventures all throughout time and the whole universe? There's so much potential there. Maybe in like a few years they'll do that. That's the kind of speculation that would be going on if this was a brand new episode.
Because they totally set up like that, don't they?
Yeah.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, yeah. So they arrive at this place where he's going to be hosting a symposium on to the Federation Archaeology Council, and he's working on his speech.
But is this the planet is illegal to go down to?
Let's see here.
Because
Tagus 3, yes.
Okay.
I think so. We'll find out later when the dialogue comes up. But Tagus 3, just remember that. I'll write that down.
Okay. And I really...
All these names sound the same to me.
Yeah, no, seriously. This one especially. And I really like how geeky he is here. It's really nice. And they have a lot of long takes this episode. A lot of them, which is quite fun to see. There's a lot of... And they'll have to have some good lines. And this one is ones where you really appreciate... Again, this cast just so well crafted that each of these people sell their role perfectly. You get that this man is really enjoys archaeology, but not just that, but theoretical archaeology, because he can't go there. Theoretical archaeology. And he sells it 100%, and it's quite remarkable, really.
Well, they make a point here saying that he's up late, so I'm thinking like maybe midnight, 1 o'clock, because what's late for Starfleet, I really don't know. For late for me is like... Yeah, late for me is like 4 a.m., but...
Yeah, normal late for me is 4. Late for me is actually 6. Like, if you're actually late...
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly.
But yeah, he's working on his thing. He's having a pot of coffee, not a cup of coffee, which is important,
That's
I
a
think.
nice detail, yeah. That was definitely...
Yeah.
Tells you... I kind of wish he was more tired, or she was off uniform, because it doesn't... Like I said, time is relative on a starship. Like, that pot tells you a lot, but her lack of... fatigue says nothing. You know what I mean? It could easily be 11. It could easily be 4:55. Oh, you're late to your shift.
I appreciate that Beverly's actually not wearing her uniform later because it's the morning. She's just before her shift starts or whatever.
And this is the first time we've seen them have their tea, right? I think so.
Possibly.
Which is quite a fun one to establish that in. Have the double women situation. Yes.
Yeah, but he's wondering, asked her, should I do it chronologically or by subgroups or whatever? And she's like, I thought you already decided. He goes, yeah, I know, but you having doubts with this kind of thing, which I get.
Geek, nerd, he loves it. No,
yeah.
Good.
And he's doubting himself because he's considers himself the amateur in this because everybody else is like best in the field, giants in archaeology. And she's like, yeah, they're talking about Targus 3, so that's the planet they're in orbit of. Yeah. So, yeah, basically he studied all the archaeological expeditions, and I love later that ties into his speech where he says, "Please allow me to take you on my detective journey." So all the stuff that he's learned during the course of his research, just the way he starts his speech is so great. Actually, I wanted to hear the speech. I didn't give a shit about it. But yeah, so this is a great scene. Just basically, he's doubting himself. She's like, "It's okay, man. You're fine."
Well, I mean, he's used to being the king of his castle, and obviously, how often do you really go to Admiralty? Pretty irregular. And here he is with civilians, and he's like a kid. He's like a tween who's talking to the, and it's fun because, like I say, Patrick gives a lot of different performances this week, and I think that's really really fun to see because he's a super flexible actor actually, and yeah, very very good stuff.
Yeah, and then this is where they say that they don't allow people down to the site anymore. And later we find out it's been 100 years ago is when they implemented that. But yeah.
And I know we said last week, last episode, where we said the Patrick actor, Picard could be any actor, as in any captain. This, I think he's dripping Picardianisms in every line. Stark difference. Like, even the small things. He is, like, absolutely on this episode. Like, put them side by side. You know what I mean? Even the small things, he can just give a Picard vibe.
Yeah. So he gets back to his quarters, turns the lights down, getting ready to lay down, I think. And one thing I noticed right away, I was like, who puts the flowers on his table? Like, is that something that a housekeeper does? Does somebody come in and clean his room? Does he replicate flowers every morning? Like, just something I want to know. Does the computer just randomly have a different batch of flowers every morning that he can put in a vase? Like, I wouldn't have flowers personally, unless they were like a plant that I could water. Cut flowers is kind of too much maintenance.
I would assume they were synthetic flowers that didn't need care. Ooh. Like, we have fake flowers. I assume they're real fake flowers that like still generate
interesting
pheromone, scents.
If it was Discovery, they'd be holographic. They'd change every morning on the table.
And a bird, and then bees would fly around as well. Holographic bees. I didn't even see the flowers, but I always like when they go to the captain's office because it's genuinely more fancy than the normal offices or the normal rooms, but it's still the same set. It's a good thing. And then they turn the light off, and I groaned a little bit at the fact there's a spotlight on the Horgon. It's like, really, like, I don't know why there's a spotlight in the set that goes unless there's another piece of cool artistry stuff there that she moved. But it's a little bit like, okay, yeah, fine, you're doing this. But yes, he gets given a sex idol, which, as you know, if you've got Horgon out, means you're ready to go. And then she comes out and kisses him within the first sort of 45 seconds of seeing him. So she is although for some reason she just keeps her eyes open when she kisses him, which to me was a slightly duplicitous, like, I'm sensing how into it he is. Luckily she does play it off the whole time as I do actually like him, but that could have been a play of let's see where this goes. But it's a interesting touch.
I also love how he says, "How'd you get in here?" And she said, "I came in through the window," which later he literally comes in through the window to save her.
Yes, no, I caught that. I remember that. And that felt like such an Orville line. No, she's very good in this first half.
Yes, I will agree with that.
And then it fades to black as
and later it's
the deck plate that starts a rocking.
Yeah, and then the quarters are lit up again, but that's neither here nor there. And pouring coffee. It's clearly breakfast time. And then I had no idea you remember the council. It's like kind of like that's never explained. I'm sure she got on here by some kind of lie, as she points out later. She's a good liar. She's basically the Vala of Star Trek.
Yes. Hey. Woo! Correctly, you Stargate reference.
Well, I knew who Vala was beforehand. I just didn't know how close to Vash she was beforehand. That's all.
Vala's more fun. Vash is too serious. Vash is more of a professional. Vala gets away with it less, but Vala's way more fun, in my opinion.
Yeah. Which came first?
The Vala or the Vash?
Yeah.
God, that is weird. Both 4 or 5 letter names. Huh.
Both with a V. Yeah.
Weird. Yeah.
I was asking a serious question. Which came first? Do you know? Because who stole what?
Well, one was filmed in the 2000s. One was filmed in the 80s. So.
Okay, that's cleared it up for me.
Yeah, quite a while before. No, I actually I like her face because she doesn't lie to him. I appreciate that. Oh, you're part of the council. You are, aren't you? I mean, I lied, and if I falsified documents, say I am. Was via bike.
Yeah, this is where she says, "You're the reason I'm here," and he's like, "I wish I could believe you."
Most of the reason she said was something of the ilk.
Yeah, and then the door chimes, and I love the look on Trekyards' face. It's like, oh shit, this is going to not go well.
It's such an unusual face for him. I love it because in my context, he just had sex with a lady he likes quite a bit. It was impromptu. It was great having breakfast. Totally, and then suddenly the girl I sort of fancy on the ship, but not really. And it's like being caught, like cheat on her, because it is in essence. And it's the worst thing you can do is have that woman find you in breakfast with the woman you're meant to be having breakfast with. I mean, you are cheating on breakfast at least with her. But he handles like a man. Like a startled child man.
Yep. Very awkwardly. This is Dr. Beverly. What? Dr. Crusher.
This is sex. I mean, Vash. What? But you are right. It would have been great if he was not in his uniform. That would have been a nice touch. Have the chest hair out.
I think that would have been better.
Yes.
For this.
But I think it would have been too clear. I think they need ambiguity. Again, it's ostensibly a young adults children's show. In essence, it's like for all audiences. But I mean, Beverly has no like claim to him. You know, it's more just he didn't tell her. But he was a bit distracted. Actually, you know what would have been great if they cut to like there was 2 pots of coffee and one was completely empty, one was mostly almost empty. They showed they were all night because they had so much coffee, and then she's like, "Have you not gone to bed?" And he's like, "No."
But
What
you
time
have
is this?
bedhead. Oh wait, it's a good thing to be bald, man.
I like that. Yes.
Yeah, this is kind of like the worst situation a man can find himself in. The woman he's interested in or friends with, that's the regular person who meets the ex, essentially, which not the ex, but the one night stand.
The
Well, not one night
exciting
stand
one.
now. You know what I mean, though. There's bad things happening here for Picard. Basically, Vash is like, "I've heard all about you," and she's like, "Oh, well, when?" On Rise. "Oh, well, he didn't say anything about you." Really? Yeah, that's the problem.
And I love the actress's choice of she's clearly sort of surprise hurt, but she understands this context as why would you tell the girl you obviously have something for? And so when it gets to Riker, that's when she's like been stabbed in the heart a little bit because she can understand.
Bros should be talking to each other about their hookups. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I thought the same thing when she asked Riker about it too.
Like that's when because she's still forgiving him, but at that point she's like, "Oh, you," because if he told him about Riker, he'd say how close he was to Riker, etc. Although you don't, how many days did he spend on Riser? It must have, I think it was probably a week, wasn't it, roughly?
It was at least a weekend.
Yeah, well,
but yeah, it's probably a week would be my guess.
Because I don't remember him being all like, "So let me tell you about my crew." Do I have to hear about your crew? Yes, in case you meet them one day. Yeah, I don't like the way that plays. I was kind of expecting Vash to be like, "Oh, I've heard all about you." She's like, "Oh, what have you heard?" "Oh, yeah, I'm lying 'cause I'm a liar." Like I thought it was a bit weird that she knows everybody. I didn't know why.
Well, that comes in later, like with "You Must Be Riker." The next thing you're gonna say is that you see the stars. My eyes are more beautiful than the stars. You're a Betazoid. No, just the captain does a good impersonation of you.
Ooh.
Really? When did this conversation happen? Yeah, you should meet my first officer. He's a very much a ladies' man. Oh, really? What does he do? Oh, well.
Your eyes are like this. Look at my beard. But to be fair, though, they did do like a 4-hour walk there and back from that dig site once.
That's true.
So there is one very long day of walking. But still, it felt a bit odd. Now, there is one line, though, later on. I don't remember where it is exactly, so I might not be able to find it. But there's one line where they say he warns her about going to another dig site. And she says, but I still got away with it. Implying explicitly that they have talked between. So if they've been talking in between, then he may have mentioned the other crew during
that could have also been said during that walk. It also could have been said when they were just hanging out on Rise, because they had an interest in archaeology. So he might say, "Oh, yeah," she might have said, "I'm going to this place. Oh, you should be careful going there." That's something that could have come up anytime. Because I wondered the same thing. Have they talked in the interim? And I don't know if they have necessarily. I don't think they have.
yes and no. I would agree with you, but the way she says to him, but I still managed it. It wasn't like, I'm telling you for the first time. It was like, oh, I got away with it. It wasn't like, oh, I got away with it. But I think you play either way. But I kind of like that idea they've talked. I think it'd be a bit weird if they didn't. Even just like, oh, I'm in the near sector. Not to hook up or anything. Just like, sort of a couple of archaeology stories. You know?
I got picked up for doing something illegal on this planet.
Yeah, that too.
I know Captain Picard.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
They just call him. Beep, 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 beep. Yes? Can you get me out of jail? What?
Yeah.
But I definitely, it'd be nice to know if they'd talked in the meantime, because it has been, what, 2 seasons? No, one. I guess only 1 season.
Yeah, it's been a year, because she said vacation a year ago.
But yeah.
And just so you guys know, the Captain Picard's quarters are basically right above 10 forward at the very front leading edge of the ship. His windows curve like this, 10 forwards curve like this. So if you see the front of the ship, his quarters are right above 10 forward. For the record.
As are Janeway's.
Yes.
Obscenely big quarters according to the exterior of the ship.
Good to be captain. So Riker sees them come in, and basically this is where the meeting's going to happen, or the not the speech, but the initial conference thing. And she asks if Picard comes here often. She's like, no, not really. He's kind of a private man. Do you want a drink? I'm not going to ask you what you want. I'm just going to get you whatever the fuck I want. I hate that in shows. Like I can see, want a drink? Yeah, sure.
Well, it's not.
I didn't want this.
Well, it's not just that, but if it's like 8 a.m. because they just come from breakfast tea, like, do you really want a boozy beverage after you're gonna have tea 5? Because, like I say, they are less than like 30 meters from 10 forward with a turbolift. So this is like 50 seconds ago, or
Oh yeah, it's like 30 seconds ago.
Yes.
This is a short tour so far.
Yeah, really
Unless she went around the whole like upper deck, like that level first, then go. See what I mean? There's time problems here that don't, because all of a sudden she's getting called to sickbay.
Yeah,
you'll have to continue the tour.
Because that feels
implying
like
that she's already given her some of the tour.
Yeah, especially as you would think that. I know she's off duty, be always on duty, but you would think that she wouldn't time it, knowing she may get called away to have breakfast with the captain. And like, if she's being called to duty at 6 a.m, that sucks. But that's just a random thing. But
she's the CMO. She's the one, and she's probably always on duty.
Sure.
It's a small ship, relatively speaking.
But I'm intrigued by the fact that as soon as they cut into 10 forward, Riker is like right on it. Like,
yeah. Ooh.
Like 1/2 second of like, girl.
People say I'm bad and I'm pervy. No. Riker, my friends.
And I also found it very odd. I would love to know what Gates was thinking. As soon as they walk in and say this is where it's happening, Vash is like, oh yeah, and Gates, Beverly's like, it's like, you've seen this from thousands of times. Why are you like you?
To be fair, she said the conference, the initial meeting is going to be here soon, later today or this morning. So they could have been setting something up on that side of the room. So she was kind of like, oh yeah, they've put up some decorations or something.
Except we see the room and it's a blank room.
We don't see the side the side that they're looking at though. We see the front.
It's true. No, it's
we
true.
see the side they entered on.
It just felt a very weird disconnect. Like she should have been looking at Vash smiling or out the window. It's just like she's like, don't know what to do because I'm awkwardly standing here waiting for my cue.
I was waiting for her cue. What, Delancey's coming soon?
Hey! Yes.
Oh.
Also, they cut this shot of people. Are those two people at the forward window? Do they like grab hands like in a romantic way? Because I felt like I saw that. You haven't got that in the screen caps, but I feel like that happened. And it was like a night, like as if they're seeing love everywhere sort of situation.
It's a very quick cut, and I would have got something like that. I think. I think it almost feels out of place. Like this was filmed for a different episode, and they just cut it in because they needed to show the stars.
So the guy puts out his hand, and then she doesn't do anything, so it cuts. So yeah, they were gonna hold hands, but doesn't. And then Riker, literally, right in there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get into the eternity thing or whatever, but this is a funny little back and forth, where Picard does a great impersonation of you. I'm like, when does this happen? Was that last night? Oh, I'm gonna role play and say I'm Rika. Like, what the fuck? I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Crusher comes back with a drink that she didn't want, probably. Who knows? And
this is pure vodka, Beverly. Yes. It's gonna be a really boring symposium. We all start early on this if John Luke is talking. It's like,
oh, harsh. But she's like, I see you two have met, and he's like, no, not really. Yeah. Oh, this is a good friend of the captain's. Oh, really? And then they say they met her on Ryza. Oh, that must have been more exciting than he let on. Wait, you mean he didn't talk about me to you? You're his first officer. You're a bro. You got the bro code. You know. So yeah, there's something serious going on now. Now she's mad.
Yeah, she's not thrilled. And I'll be honest, I was kind of thinking, wouldn't it be hilarious if she did sleep with Riker? The only woman to have both Picard and Riker in the same day.
Oh.
That would be an achievement.
She should really go change, though. The night, to be walking around in the previous night's dress.
Sonic shower. Clean the clothes. Ain't no water in a sonic shower.
That's legit.
Not that they've actually introduced them as a concept yet, I don't think. Would have been great to have a booze drink joke. But
isn't it a little early for alcohol?
And isn't it
Trust me, it's an archaeology symposium. You'll need it.
Exactly. And this isn't the Synthol shit, is it? Oh no. Or you know what she should have done? And this is lower deck style humor. So that joke you just said, but she's like, "Is it Synthol?" Well, of course it is. And she pulls out a little tablet. Turns into real alcohol. It destabilizes them. Yeah. That'd have been a fun thing. But isn't it weird? Like he's before. To be fair, Riker might be coming off duty if he did the night shift. But I guess there's never a bad time to hit on a woman, a brand new woman on the ship. Never a bad time. I'm on duty, just off duty, just in the morning. Yep. It's 7 a.m. Never a bad time.
Never a bad time. Never a bad time to make a good impression.
Talk about her starry eyes.
Anyway, so he continues the tour. They end by coming on the ridge. This is the main bridge and our last stop. So, did they go to the shuttle bay? Check the shuttle bay, the warp reactor, the warp core. Like, what did they do? Like, what? The whole time I was thinking, yeah, as one of the senior staff, you'd have to have like a tour of the ship plan. Like, go see Cetacean Ops, go see the warp core, go see
the best of Enterprise D.
Interesting things to see. Yeah, ignore this deck because it's all just empty rooms. We only use them when we need to because a lot of wasted space on this ship.
And this is empty cargo bay 4, empty cargo bay 5, empty cargo bay 6.
They're empty, so I'm saying take 10 minutes.
And this is a really good little moment because Worf's reaction from going on the bridge is so visible. Like, what? Like he is actively holding himself back from saying, excuse me, who is this? Because yeah, you shouldn't bring civilians onto the bridge. He has no idea who she is. And I love the context here. I love his force, like he's right there. But Riker's like, no. And he's like, okay. But I love the kind of
the captain.
Escalation, de-escalation. It's fun actually. Because it's what you think should happen. And actually for once it does happen. Which is nice.
Exactly. And if it didn't happen, we'd be like, it would have been cool if Worf was like, what's going on here? So it adds to the realism of the scene for sure, because that's his job to know what's going on.
And even with Riker taking it, which implies she's someone important, like this is the head of the ship. You can do everything from here. But
Worf knows that Riker thinks with his dick, so he's of course going to question it. If it was Picard or somebody else, then she might be like, it's fine.
Yeah. Anyway. Wouldn't it be awkward if it was like at 6 a.m. and they're coming on board and it's like, sir, this is my date. Who is she? Don't know her name. Oh. But it's kind of fun that the entire bridge crew's there as well. Good tour. They all have been in the same room. But we do take for granted, though, that everyone we always see is a Federation officer. So obviously you can go to the bridge if you need to. You shouldn't if you're a lower rank, but you can. It's like you're assigned.
You need a good reason to go up there. Can you imagine walking on as an ensign just to see the bridge and everybody turns and looks at you?
Who the hell are you? Oh, sorry, sir.
Oh, sorry, this isn't Science Lab 3. What?
Which is you show off in lower decks so they get assigned to the bridge. It's like, oh, I got bridge duty today, because otherwise I don't really go to the bridge.
And then she sits in the big chair, and I gotta say, she got a fine pair of legs for a human. That comes up later. But she looks good in the chair, and everybody's like, "Ooh,"
but not like ooh. It's like balls. She's got balls. What is gonna happen? And as soon as she comes out, they're like, let's see what happens. Where will the dominance be here?
The awkwardness of this thing. Yeah, so I should probably go get ready for the reception. Yeah, by all means. Well, I suppose I'll see you then. Like, it's just so well done.
And it's nice because you can imagine they're both staring at each other and the background's out of focus. But obviously he's seeing his crew looking at him, and she's seeing the wall. But she's like, I mean, are you gonna kiss me? Like, I'm right here. I haven't seen you since breakfast. I
haven't seen you since 20 minutes ago.
It's a really crap tour. But like that's I got the impression she wanted a kiss. Like, that was what she was potentially waiting for. Like, here's the move. And he's like,
absolutely.
Good to see you. And she's like, okay.
Oh, no. He didn't do his horse sound like he did with Beverly. You know what I'm talking about.
I do. No, this is, again, a great scene. Cause it is so unlike TNG and so unlike the characters, but it's still so in character. That's a very hard thing to achieve. And another good one, long take as well. No, I really like that.
Then the thing is going on in 10 forward. Oh, what's up?
Oh, it's just sad. She gets more depressed every time she asks somebody.
Yeah.
it's so sad.
But I thought he confided in you. Well, it was important. I don't remember him talking about you, though.
Because Picard is a private. Yes.
And I thought she had probably heard it more than that. She only heard it once. I made sure to check that out. Once from Beverly, and then you get the implication from Riker, and I'm sure Riker probably mentioned it on their tour. But
I'm sure she told other people as well, because this is everyone's at this gathering before the thing, so I'm sure she just said hi to people. I mean, she's also there, like, there and ready. But
I was gonna say, I love how she storms off and like confronts him when he's talking to a. It's his job. It's something important. But she's got like this high school beef with him now. We need to talk. Like, oh.
Yeah, and it is a bit. I mean, it would have been nice to say I met a woman, but he's all like, well, it would have been inappropriate. It's like, yeah, but don't tell them the dirty shit we did, like that and this thing I let you do. It's like, yeah, don't
that thing you do with your tongue,
with your toes.
Well, the captain can't show his feelings to his crew. She's like, did you just make that up, or is that a regulation? And the whole time I'm watching this, I'm thinking, here's Captain Foley, who overshares probably a little bit too much on lives. So I guess I'm not a good captain, guys. I'm sorry.
But speaking of, we've got 80 likes, 80 people in the chat. We're almost an hour in, and we've had 3 super chats. It's the worst we've had in...
Well, 5.
5. But, yeah. It's the worst we've had in several months. I don't know why people don't like this episode. But hey, if you've got thoughts and comments, put them down below. We're just having a chat, but we'd love to hear what you guys think. We need at least another $100. Ha ha. Cross fingers. But I did think, though, apart from, I did like this in general, because it shows she does genuinely care. Like, this is the scene where she's letting her emotions betray... Because if she's trying to get to the planet sneakily, making a scene in the thing she's trying to get away with to the captain is going to put her on people's radar, right? Part of being a sneaky, duplicitous person is being sneaky. That's important. So she does genuinely like him and at least wants to be valued by him, etc. But I don't buy it for a single second. She says, so I guess you're embarrassed of me? Nothing he's done has said that. Nothing at all. That's not what he said.
Well,
I don't buy that.
She's being a woman.
Woo!
She's interpreting it as a woman does. And the last thing she says is, and I'm sorry if being here embarrasses you, and storms off. It's a way to guilt him. And the look on his face when she walks away is like, I did not think I was going to have to deal with this today when I woke up today. Well, maybe today, but you know what I mean.
I woke up
just the look on his face is like that sting, like...
I woke up today in a great mood. Wink. And after the great mood, we had breakfast. Wink. But she's, I mean, she doesn't overreact but what she says is wrong. It just sounds like it's a jab against him. Like he's thinking, what do you want about?
She's a woman. She's a woman, Samuel.
I know. It's oddly written. She's quite compelling otherwise.
I think it's perfectly written. It's the irrationality of it all.
Because if she had said, "You're embarrassed of me from Riser," that is justifiable because he didn't tell anybody. But not here. I don't know. I felt that was a bit weird. Like lost me a little bit at that point. But now's ended the fun focus of everybody. Now it goes into Q stuff and then into the weird Q stuff. So this is the end of kind of the really like deep character stuff. But that's okay.
I just love the next scene. How was the reception? Splendid. Hey, that's me most mornings. So,
I mean, when we come to film, I'm like, "How you doing, Stuart?" "Splendid." "So we're gonna film?" "Uh-huh." And then I say,
"Hi everybody, I'm
Yes!
Captain Foley from Trekyards.
That's the joke.
Today?"
And then I say, "And cut." And you do.
How many more are we doing today?
All right, Stuart. So audio sync in 3, 2, 1, action.
Audio sync in 3, 2, 1. Hi guys, how's it going?
That's exactly how it is.
Yes.
It isn't though.
Anyway, yeah. So he's kind of concerned to see somebody in his chair, and of course it is Q. How about a big hug? I love it.
And welcome Q's weird hair. It's like mullet-esque.
Yeah, kind of.
A bit. Just not what he normally has. At least his hairline's better. Because the first time it was really bad, but now he's got weird back hair. But and also his uniform not properly fitted. Like he's way like he must have changed size. Because when they go wide, it's
honestly,
way too big for him. It's weird.
Honestly, it looks like it might be like a spare Riker uniform or something.
Because have you noticed, like, it's too big for him.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's weirdly big. But yes, Q is back.
And he's back because he just wanted to visit? No. He feels like he owes Picard a debt for the last time that the... You know, I would have killed myself if it hadn't been for you. Well, we all make mistakes. I love that. Like, I should have just let you. But he owes them a debt, and he's there just to repay it because it's gnawing at him that he feels like he owes them. So,
which is for this character a lot of character development. Like this is a god creature who doesn't live in time, so he may have thought about this for seconds or hundreds of years in essence. You know, but the fact that he waited this long is strange. But what I don't like here, when he comes back... Okay. Yeah, what I don't like here, though, is that I get that Picard is not happy right now. That works. But all he says in every single scene is go away. It gets extremely boring very quickly because he's offering him an extremely good thing. He owes you one favour. You would take it. Like, it just seems very stupid of Picard. And especially as, if there's been a rule for 100 years, you can't go down. Can we go there 105 years ago then? Like, you can go back in time and not break this rule that you've got.
Well, she wanted to show it to him 2 billion years ago when they were thriving as a people. But Picard's Picard. He's got the Starfleet regulations. He doesn't want to owe or feel like he's, you know, doing something that he shouldn't be because it's Picard, you know?
But... Yes, but this is a favour, this is a pay him back. This isn't I owe you something, this is directly, I know obviously you're assuming Q isn't lying, etc. But this is a no strings attached, one cool thing. And considering Q's being extremely well thought out, like he's not offering him to be dated for a day, or to have a giant wang, or to have 3, Klingon women like the last time he came in off people what they didn't want. Like this is a genuinely thoughtful present, will have no repercussions. Like, and he can make it so there's no repercussions. He can make the time not be affected. Like, Q's be extremely nice right now without any other bias. And I was just annoyed by the absolute brick wall because Q's genuinely trying. And he's very nice here. But Picard is pissed because of his girl situation. So I get that. I just wish he handled it differently. But if we're all angry at this point, what are you going to do? Like I said, I always said, can you take me back 110 years so that I'm not breaking any rules? And, you know... And you don't come with me because I was your break shit. Just get me there, give me 2 days, come back. I was annoyed by that, you know.
That could be a whole different episode. He flashes his fingers. Picard shows up wearing a TOS Starfleet uniform, part of an archaeological team. Yeah, that'd be good.
That's just pretty good. But obviously, I get why. This is the one time you say yes, you know. The one time.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're saying that. Usually I'm the kind of guy that would say, yeah, I'd take advantage of that shit. But
It's just the way he acted was so genuine for Q. It was weird, you know?
I love the whole, Riker, come in here. Yes, Captain? Q is just here. He wants to do something nice for me. I'll let the crew know. It's like, beautiful.
Deadpan, focused, close-up, dramatic, beautiful. I really wanted, though, him to say, Red alert! Like, Red alert, shields up!
Shields up.
Arm power to weapons, full spec, security teams to all decks. Like, oh, it was perfect, but it would have been great to have the absolute, like, absurd escalation factor.
There's so many other ways you could edit that scene to make it more funny, so.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of funny.
Yeah, walking around the corner to the guest quarters, and there's a crewman there.
Captain?
I don't know why it's so bad. I mean, there's a bunch of archaeologists on board, so why is this an issue, really?
Like, he often speaks to delegates, and, he's having but the fact that he thinks, like, she's in his head, and he's in his head, that guy's not going to know jack shit. But it tells you so much about him. But I don't think it's because he's embarrassed. I think it's because he's been put under pressure here, and been shamed by her, and made to feel stupid by Q. I'm just impressed that when he walks in, he's as level-headed as he is, given that Q and her. Like, he bounced out very quickly in every scene. But yeah, it was very strange little, like, oh, you're so embarrassed and cute.
Yeah, well, he goes in to say, I'm not embarrassed by you. Finds out she's actually there for another purpose, not just for him. She's like, oh, I didn't have you fooled for a second, did I? Because she's got a map of the ruins. And then he finds the... Well, he seems disappointed, actually, because he actually says, let's see. Oh, I thought I was the only reason you came to tag us. The way he says it, it's like, yeah.
Well, because she went all moral high ground on him.
Yes.
And it felt so genuine, I think, even to her. But she doesn't try and hide it. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that she says, this is the part with that's the problem with being such a great liar. Even when you're telling the truth, no one believes you.
No,
and then he finds the digging stuff. Yeah, the digging stuff in the other room, which is what we saw the guy with the Husuk episode. Anyway, that diggy tool thingy is back.
It's the classic reuse of props. Great question is, though, how'd she get those on board? She wasn't meant to have them.
thought the same thing. Did they get beamed on board with her, or did she... She could have replicated them, honestly. She could have gone to the replimat. And,
it would have been a record, though.
Yeah, but it's whatever. I guess that... I'm going to alert somebody, like, oh, somebody just made digging equipment. I don't know.
No, but...
I thought the same thing, though.
That's a well-known thief of archaeological artifacts just replicated archaeological artifacts. Yeah. But it's definitely a sad, sudden shift. She doesn't try and hide it necessarily. She doesn't sound guilty. Although there is some small argument to be made for she steals items then sells them, but they may end up in museums. Like, don't say who she sells them to. And she does feel more reformed than last time, like Picard's been a good influence. That's kind of the impression I got. So, yeah. I mean, lots of people sell stuff to museums all the time. That's standard, because she's putting the effort in to get them. And then means they get to be seen by people, etc. So there is some value to potentially doing that, especially if there's a whatever. But that's the black and white rule. Well, you can't do that.
It belongs in a museum.
Yeah, but she doesn't seem remorseful, and but he also doesn't like threaten to get her in trouble either, which I was surprised about. It's very sort of a passive, like, well, you can't. Well, I will.
You're not on my ship. You're not doing that.
Yeah.
And then it's the whole you can't change who I am. And she's like, well, neither you can't. Same here. So I guess that's all we have to talk about. Bye.
And that really speaks to they only make each other once, and because this is not the Picard that was there. That's the whole point. So she's seeing the very professional Picard, where she was used to the more, Indiana Jones. So she's expecting a little bit of, and here he is. I mean, you can even see the way he stands. It's like very.
There's a lot of subtle acting from him in this episode. Little facial tics, just the way he stands in a lot of scenes. Absolutely, yes.
Like his body is lost in the moment, and all he's got is his face. So passive. Whereas other scenes is very like, yeah. But it's sad. It's genuinely quite sad. and you can't change. So I guess that's it. Goodbye.
But 77 people here, 94 likes. Let's hit 100 likes, guys. And if I know it's not. We usually have more than this for this time of the show, but
Yeah,
if you can, please do.
Weird today.
We won't have another live until Thursday, so I mean, if you can come back then as well. But
yeah, just
anyway,
post your comments.
Hit that like button, and if you can comment or super chat, please consider doing so.
Yeah, let us know what you think of the episode, super chat or not.
And she goes and sits in the chair, and I love Q. Whoop, whoop, pops his head in.
Yeah.
And Picard goes to bed. So this is the end of the day. So that's cool. And how Q looks under the covers. Sleeping alone, are we? Yeah, I know about Vash. I saw what just happened, and you're going to be brought down by a woman. Just saying. What's up?
Oh, it's a good scene, but I don't like the shift in his character here. Is he Q's? Is he genuinely trying to tell him by the end that like women are bad, don't let them abuse you? This has shown you're weak.
Well,
because it's such a weird. That's not the message you get at the end. It's weird that he would think that, given that he's. There's a disconnect with the end here, and him how he like. I was expecting, again, I just didn't know exactly how it was going to go. I thought this scene was going to be, do you want me to help you get her back? Like I thought the whole Marilyn thing was there to get her back. He's helping her to find them connection, but it's actually the opposite. It's to show she's a bitch. You don't need her. It's like what? That's not. That's not the tone you expect. It's weird.
He was trying to, because he says here that she's your vulnerability. If I would have known that, I would have appeared as a woman. Because I haven't found any vulnerabilities with you. You're like,
I've been looking for years.
My arch enemy.
Yeah. Frenemy.
Not enemy, but yeah. Anyway.
Arch frenemy with the most chest hair of any man I've ever met.
My favor to you is to prove that women and true love is bad for you. You need to not be vulnerable, Mr. Picard. I didn't quite get the whole thing at the end either, but I can see from Q's point of view, you might be doing him a favor.
It's just so weird he was being so nice in the first scene. Like, it would have been good if this scene he's playing at hard ass, try and get to Picard to see how he reacts, and at the end he's like, "Oh, mon capitaine, you two do care. See, I've shown it." Like, go all Qpid on it rather than Q-bitch, So I just didn't, I wasn't sold on that. I wasn't sold on his plan. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't either, but we'll see if maybe we can figure something else out by the end of this. Who knows?
Oh.
If you guys have any insights, let us know.
And we were both wrong. It isn't 10-4. They actually redressed the conference room. It goes so quick, I didn't realize that. Wow, that is when they take out the table and the back wall, that is a much bigger space. Wow.
Yeah, I knew it was the briefing room. I didn't think it was 10 forward.
Oh, because they walked in and we said, "Where are they looking?" And I said, we talked about that. So.
That's because the reception was in 10 forward.
Oh, the reception. Yeah, you're right.
And that's where Vash was talking to Troy, and where that's the reception. This is
different. Right. Yeah, it's speech.
Captain Chilibina, $10. Missed your last few lives because work has been crazy, but glad I was able to pop by tonight at least. This episode is one of my least faves, so I'm looking forward to rewatching this live.
No, one of my
faves. I don't know why I said least.
That was your brain Freudian slip, that's just.
No, that was dyslexia for me. I don't know where I got least from, but anyway. So looking forward to rewatching this episode. Now take my money. Live long and prosper. Well, thank you, Captain Chilibina. Once you get to this point again, thank you again.
Yeah.
Twice
Hello, now. You from the future. This is us in the past. We're doing well. Unless we're not doing well and things suddenly change, then that's pretty dramatic.
Yeah. Anyway, I love this room, the way it's set up. I love the podium. He looks very much like I wanted to get screen caps and like this Picard for president of the Federation because it's very official looking.
Yeah.
And again, I really like the beginning of this speech, like the way he does it. You'd think it'd be boring, but just the way he starts it out, he says mystery. That's the first word. He goes on to talk about Targus 3 and what brought us all here today. And then he says, please join me on my detective journey. Oh, actually, how's it go? if you will excuse the conceit, I want you to tell you about my detective story. Like the way he's crafted this script or this speech is very well done. And I just wanted to hear the goddamn speech. But anyway.
Yeah, it's you again, the actor sells he's passionate about this. And that is an achievement. And yet he's professional. You know? But again, as I said a minute ago, the fact that he went through this uncomfortable situation of a really shitty day yesterday, and he comes in totally professional still, says a lot about the fact that he's able to. Yeah. How am I? Let's do this.
I'm not. If I have a bad thing right before anything, it really affects how I. And I shouldn't, but it does, unfortunately.
So I admire him for that.
Yeah. Now the thing is here where the hat starts showing up and the staff and all that. It makes me wonder if the flash we see when we watch this show actually happens and people can see it. Because it's a bright white flash of light. Picard's still talking away like he hasn't noticed anything is happening. They're only like 5 or 3, 4 sets of like a rows back. You would notice this shit going on as you're talking to an audience. So is the actual Q flash the thing that people can see? Or is it just something that's a special effect for us to, I don't know. Anyway, bugged me a little bit that all of a sudden there's murmuring like other people notice that they've changed. But they're in the back row. Picard should have noticed first.
I will say though, before I jump on that, because I absolutely agree, it's fun, but my favourite bit is when Data holds up the... That's such a great visual gag. But no, it's a unbelievable scene because Picard would see all of it. There's only like 20 people in the room, not even that. Oh, Vash is there. She was there. She's not focused on. In front of Riker in the long shot. Huh. Never of course she was there. I mean, it makes sense, but yeah, very small council, and it's nice the whole bridge crew turned up. Pretty much good for them. But yeah, it's like Picard would see it because you're thinking, Beverly, why'd you bring a hat like that? And they don't play that well. The way he acts it is as if, wait, what's happening? Oh, I'll keep going. And yeah, I guess the Flash, it's also more a sound than the Flash. Because the Flash, you could argue maybe like it's a sci-fi Flash that doesn't actually create light. It just is.
Yeah, exactly.
But a sound you would hear. What? Yeah, it's a poorly constructed scene from a logical point of view, but I like the slow build. But it doesn't make any sense, for sure.
And the whole he changes and then disappears. Great. And then we get the Sherwood Forest thing, and it's like, I love how the first thing he says is Q. Well, no shit.
Yeah, the dialogue quality drops from now on. There's very little.
It's like 2 separate episodes for sure.
Which honestly, I think it should have been. I think honestly, fully dedicate on this would have been fun. And the Vash storyline, this did not need to be the same episode. It splits too hard into 2. And like you'd said, and the audience had said, like this would have been a great Star Trek 4 in that give them everyone something to do in the bigger story. It was a full part. Give them all something to do. They all have a physical purpose here, rather than like why even bring Troy and Geordi if you're not even going to use them at all. You know, let them focus on different things. You don't need them. Yeah.
This was a nice. Let's go film on location. Everybody wants to go.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, it's a good-looking forest stuff. This especially his first bit. And I think Patrick was great in a moustache and goatee. And in fact,
yes, yeah,
because he could have hair. Like it decontextualizes his bald, and it feels even more different. Because like, wait, you have hair? So you probably have hair here too. As a good disconnect here. Although yeah, everyone's lack of concern is weird, because they were just on the Enterprise, and you know what I mean. Everyone's beyond calm, like they're waiting for their cue to think something. There's no distinction here. It's weird.
It was quite a leap too for Picard, in my opinion. So he gets the whole 12th century thing. I get that from the this is England, more precise Sherwood Forest. You're probably John Little. It's like, really, that was a quick leap. I'm sorry to say. I mean, this probably isn't historically accurate by any means. This is cinematic accuracy for Robin Hood, but there's no evidence to support what he's saying unless he recognizes all the characters.
and we've never established he's a big Robin Hood fan.
Well, he's a literature fan though, so he would have obviously read.
And he's obviously English literature, and he's an English
Yes.
Frenchman. I do wish though that he guessed a time period, and then Data would say, "Sir, more like 1200. Look at your own garment."
Yeah.
Oh, I'm Robin Hood. Like that. Yeah, he was too smart on it. I don't buy it either. It's very
Yeah.
like, again, this whole from now on is very filmic. Moving on, you know, we're just gonna keep going. Just gonna keep, you know. It's weird. Oh, I do love Brent's bald spot. That's a beautiful.
Well,
choice.
later when the arrow goes into him and he's bent over, you can see like there's lines on it. Like it's not a real. It's like his android head underneath the hair.
Weird, because they've obviously put a head on top of his real hair, or I guess maybe they put a wig. Yeah, they put a wig on top of his real hair, haven't they? And then
Yes.
yeah, and then the thing on top of the wig on top of the. Although it feels weird that Joy never says anything. Like he's there but silent. Everyone else gets a little bit. He has no part. There's zero part except the loot. It's just weird. Yeah, doesn't say anything. He looks great. He looks so happy to be there. You know, he's like, oh, this is awesome. I'm not gonna say anything though. Weird.
And then guy runs in on a horse, and Worf just decides to go attack him.
Yep.
It's like, okay, it's a little much, because he doesn't. All he does is ride in and say, "I have you at last, Robin Hood." And yes, he does grab his sword and draws it, but I still think it's a bit of a stretch for Worf to be running off with the sword.
It's also not very interesting. Like the way it's done, it's not. And also, they're both clear stuntmen. Like,
Yeah, the stunt double was quite obvious in this whole episode.
but they didn't
It
do
reminds
that
me of the
much.
old Errol Flynn like Robin Hood movies.
Yeah. But at least there isn't much of them. Like they could have had some really elaborate battles, but yeah. And then the arrows come in and miss, I guess, on purpose. I don't know.
They're stormtroopers.
Yes, and they run into the forest, even though you could totally run after them. I guess the only difference is you're in heavy armor, they're in not heavy armor, but it's not a very good scene.
Well, the thing with Robin Hood is like that once they get into the thick underbrush, you can't find them because they got all the trails and they know the forest so well. But it's not. I mean, the dialogue they use is all right for it, I guess. We'll never find them in the Greenwood. Is exactly sums up the whole thing. They know the forest so well.
But obviously, these aren't Robin Hood and other men, so they don't know the underbrush. It's not a good scene. It's lazy. It's not a refined scene. I don't think they know how. I don't even think they knew how it was going to play until they started playing it. I don't know. Doesn't quite work.
AC Castillo, where the hell did Worf learn how to attack a mounted soldier? He's a goddamn Klingon. Used to Batleth in battle. He's of course going to be able to know how to attack anybody.
Well, he learned it in Russia with his parents. And at Starfleet Academy, when
attacking people on horseback is invented in Russia.
Okay, yeah. But you would assume, though, that, I mean, not that it's the same exactly, but you assume part of combat training would be to fight aliens that are taller than you.
Yes.
And so on horseback is the same as a 20-foot alien.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see much. It's an interesting point, but but also Worf's just going to attack shit. Like there's no strategy, just going bang, 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 slap. If it was really a strategy, he would have killed the horse and then killed the guy. Like he wasn't really trying to do anything damage. He could have just could have won if he really wanted to.
Yeah.
But then you get the filler scenes.
Yes. Worf did get injured in the battle. He got hit in the shoulder. So we got the bandaging scene. Yeah, we hear I like the idea of hearing the horse footfalls and not seeing the horse, and then flashes in. That was good.
Q horse.
That was good.
Yeah.
And Q looks really good in that costume.
He does. He really does. And I do like how toned down he is. He even says that I've created this universe to run its own rules. So he is genuinely playing along. Like he doesn't go Q in this, really, from this point on. He's just playing a fun part. And in fact, that brings up an interesting point, though. When Q creates sentient life, what happens to the sentient life? Because if these aren't being controlled, and this is not the past, this is a separate universe he's created with sentient people. You know what I mean?
Same as a holodeck program, but with more moral implications because they're actually real-ish.
Yeah.
But they're also limited to the literature they're based on, probably. So.
Well, but he was surprised that the fact Marion convinced the guy. That wasn't what he thought was going to happen. So if you knew the novel, that's not what was going to happen. I don't know. I think you could go as far as you want with that. But I like how grounded he is.
But Vash isn't in the novel, so Vash is.
Oh no, exactly. Yeah, but that means it can be melded. So as soon as you start moving in the pieces, they can move out as far as. Would have been kind of cool if they go back, like in Voyager, they went back here, and the same actor playing the guy. He's now like got tricorders, and he's like, just like really absurd. Like, wow, this universe really evolved. Without, this is our joke Robin Hood universe that Q created years ago. Q, yes, Q. Are you on Q? Yes, I'm Q. But yeah. Oh no, Joy does get a line. Good.
Yes. What is Robin Hood known for? He robs from the rich and gives to the poor. Besides that, and again, I think it's a huge leap here for Data to say perhaps referring to the rescuing of Maid Marian.
What?
It's like no, for being a conglomeration of different characters, and he would have said something else.
From being the best bow and arrow in the land. That's you want to know for that, surely.
Yes, exactly.
Like every time we see him in a film, he can go an arrow through an arrow with his arrow. And there's even one of the films or shows where he goes through his own arrow like 3 times in one scene to show he can hit the bullseye with enough force. So the Marion thing is absolutely another leap. Absolutely. And honestly, I think if people knew Red Riding Hood, if people who knew Robin Hood in the abstract would not necessarily know who Marion is. She's not super connected to the myth of Robin Hood in the very zeitgeisty Robin Hood. If you know anything about him properly, you would, but you wouldn't go straight to marry him.
Yes. We find out that Vash is here. She's being held hostage, and Q's basically like, you can go rescue her, but or you can stay here. You can stay, enjoy this peaceful little, beautiful, quiet afternoon. You'll be all on your ship tomorrow. It'll be fine. But she'll be dead. She'll be executed. So it's your choice. You risk the life and your crew for the woman you love. And I love how Picard, I'm glad he came back with this. He goes, my feelings for her are irrelevant. I would attempt to save any innocent life, as you well know. And that still holds true at the end of the episode when they're standing there together. So it really doesn't, he didn't to save her. He put his life at risk to save an innocent person, as any Starfleet captain would do. So Q really didn't prove his point at all, I don't think. So.
No, he's Picard all the way through, irrelevant to who it is, etc.
Yes.
It's like, why would he let this woman die? I do think, though, it's odd that the rest of the team don't say, well, we're going to go rescue innocent life, because they're all fine to let her die, I guess. Oh, yeah, our aging captain is fine. Let me not go, Riker.
Well, that's why they go and rescue him anyway. That's why they disobey his order and go and rescue him. Because they knew there might be issues. Because Picard tells them, it's an order. You stay here. This is my personal thing with me and Q.
We'll get to that. I have comments on that, as you can imagine. But you'd think if it rings true for Picard, it rings true for all of them. And you do not get that sense that they care.
Yeah.
So again, another disconnect. Because the problem is, this is not an ensemble episode. But you've got an ensemble team. And because you haven't got an ensemble episode, people don't matter. Worf's motivations don't matter. Riker's motivations don't matter. This is why I like the first half more, I think. Because each character in there is in their own element. Seeing Beverly and Riker in their little scenes are so natural. Here, they're completely window dressing. There's nothing that they're important in. Are you following me on this? Like, do you back me up on this?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, absolutely. Don't call me Shirley. Says, I live in Nottinghamshire. So I like this episode.
Yeah.
we got a Robin Hood person, marry man, or woman in the chat. Sorry.
Did you notice that the horse gets their own flash?
No.
They thought clever enough to have 2 flashes, which means it might actually be a Q horse. I mean, in the sense that it needed a separate flash, it was its own entity, and I've kept on still in the stream. But it's super quick. It's quick. It's gone by quick as a flash. But it's very strange they made a choice. It's like angle.
That joke was a real flash in the pan.
flashed on my screen and was gone. Isn't that weird though, guys? That was a choice. That was a choice by the VFX team. The horse had its own flash. That's weird. You there yet? Do you see it?
What's that?
Do you see it? Do you see it on the live?
Yes, I do. Yep.
What do you think?
It's just something he created. So you're saying that when he flashed the hat on their head, that it's its own entity? No, it's just a Q creation. Because everything he creates has a flash with it, right? Even the cigars and Riker's mouth.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, his stuff doesn't just disappear, does it? It has to flash. Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yep.
Speaking of, I like this. The casting of this wench, basically helper wench. I thought she was quite a good casting.
Yeah. She got the brain fever though. She doesn't know who she is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get the leeches to drain the fever. No, get out. And I love the way this is played too. Like, you know, have you reconsidered? You're gonna marry me? Slaps him, and then it's like, okay, well, the execution will go ahead as normal as planned because you know you're not gonna fool us with this playing like you're mad. She's like, wait, execution of who? Oh, me? Oh, no, come back. Come to sit. Please. Like, it's such a, like I said, a Vala thing to do. It really is. Like, anything to get out of the situation. And yeah, Q just underestimated her in that regard, I think.
Well, because he doesn't know anything about her. Showing he's not all, like, he does not know anything. He has not bothered to look at her life. He's just like, oh yeah, love interest, right? Done.
Yep, exactly.
Which shows the wonderfulness that Q is all-knowing, but only if he wants to know. Like, he has access to all, but it doesn't mean he gives a shit. Why would he?
Yeah.
I also thought am I just remembering from this episode, or does not she also tap a bed or a chair for Picard as well in one of the episodes? I remember that distinctly. It may be just from here, but I felt it's exactly the same thing she did with Picard. And I think that's why it's a callback of her convincing Picard in a certain way.
She might also do it to Quark in DS9. I saw that episode not that long ago, like maybe a month ago.
I haven't seen that in years. I just feel like that's a move she's done before. Because I got the sense of like, oh, she's slipping right into that routine of, hey.
Yeah.
And I appreciate normally when you have these sorts of weird scenes, when the guy like kisses your hand or whatever, the woman's like, ugh. And it's like, is he not seeing the face? But she holds the, like, hey. So good on her. She's actually committed. That does not happen most of these, you know, really horrible things.
She's one of the people that would have a long game. Like, yeah, yes. If I have to live with him for a month, you know, have sex, do all the things we have to do, I'm eventually going to get out of here. But, you know, she's not one for the hit him over the head, instantly escape kind of thing. She's going to do what's easiest and best for her. Plus, if he's rich, and you know, which he would be, guy of Gisborne after all, she could maybe find a way to get some stuff out of him. You know, like that's the way that she thinks.
See, there's lots of interesting choices in the directing, etc.
Yeah. Then we get the mandolin scene where he smashes it against the tree, which is hilarious. But he doesn't break the strings, so he literally, like, LaForge could still pluck it. Just saying. I think it was supposed to break in a different way.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, how many do they have? Because this is... And it's also one long take. So everything's got to be right. I love LaForge's outfit. It's so colourful. It suits him so well. Multicolour orange suits LeVar Burton. Good for him. But what an odd choice to break the loop like this. Because it plays as if they're given... Like, as if this has been a running joke for LaForge. It is a background element, and now it's a foreground element. It's like, well...
And I love Beverly's reaction to it in the background. I really didn't notice that.
Yeah.
After I watched things a few times, I start looking at background stuff, and her reaction is brilliant. It's like, oh.
Which is weird because you can't actually see it, but I think the aggression of it, it's good acting.
Then we get the archery where she's trying to shoot a tree, I guess, which is really weird cinematography. Like, this tree with there's no target on it. There's no air. Like, you should have at least a bullseye painted on it or something.
Well, also the tree is here, Data is here. To miss is extremely hard. Like, he's not standing next to the tree saying, "Here, counselor. It's like they're really far apart. That's a really bad.
That's the point. That's the point, to make it funny.
Well,
It's that bad of a shot. And later he says, "You are approving."
It works the joke, but it's like too far. The joke is funny enough that he got attacked by an arrow. And yeah, the lines on his head are definitely a bit embarrassing. And why even is this in it? Why is this Troy's bit? Like, she's never had archery before.
Don't know.
Don't know either.
But all those biofunctions are fine. Mm-hmm. Hold on, we got to get the dialogue here. This is important. The arrow impacted just above my 6th intercostal support, so my 6th rib, I guess, penetrating my secondary subprocessor. Mm-hmm. But I'm fine.
Excellent. Good.
I believe your aim is improving. Yeah. Then Riker's like, we got to get out of here, and this is not a mission. You guys are not coming with me. It's personal. I'm trying to Q myself. I don't want you guys involved. You stay here. That's an order. Thoughts?
So, Riker is very un-Riker in these little scenes. Like, he has no urgency. If he's the sort of guy that would say, "Oh, I'm coming with you. This is the girl you fancy. We're gonna come with you. We're gonna back you up." You know, letting your captain. If you're not gonna let your captain go away on an away mission, why would you let him go into a lethal situation without any technology or plan? It's very uncharacter for Riker, and given the order is a worthwhile note, but in Insurrection, he says no pips, no orders. So knowing that's the thing he would say, as soon as Picard says this is personal, and then he says you ought to stay here, he says personal means no orders. Like instantly, he's devalued his comment because you can't order if it's a personal mission.
I think he learned from this incident.
Oh well,
and that shows later.
I'll buy that. I'll take that. But do you know what I mean, though? Like, once he says it's personal, it's not a mission, your orders don't mean jack shit. I'm sorry. Like, if I want to go save her too, you got better... Like, even bring Data! Sorry, bring the damn android that if Daj and Soji can believe can hear people 2 miles away and can break steel. He's quite useful. He also has a flotation device in water, sometimes.
I probably would have said something, like, to the effect of, well... You know, we're going to go with you anyway. You can take it up with Starfleet of this era when we get... you can have us court-martialed later.
By the Sherwood branch of Starfleet, yeah.
By the Sherwood branch of Starfleet.
That would have been perfect. But you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel in character, but we need to have Picard be the hero. But by doing that, it makes everyone look worse. Especially, like, Worf. Why would he let him go? And it would have been okay if it was at night and they were all sleeping and Picard, like, leaves. Okay, we'll go in the morning and he leaves at night. That would be fine. That would be fine. But even, like, Troy can sense people where they are to give him warning. Like, everything about his plan is bad because there is no plan. It just removes him from the scene. So I don't buy it. But I like your rationale for Insurrection. That I like a lot. Doesn't make this better, but it gives a little bit of a vibe.
It's character growth is what it is.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like, come on, Riker would go. You know? Riker would go.
Well, then this is the scene where Q gets surprised because he's like, "Oh, you're allowing her one last breath of fresh air." No, she's agreed to be my wife, and he's like, "What? That's impossible." And she doesn't know who he is yet, or what Q is, or anything. She thinks he's just part of this whole thing. Like, he's like, "Don't drink that; it could be poisoned."
Yeah.
Seriously, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then as soon as she just doesn't know what's going on, really, because as soon as he says a foul scheme of Robin Hood, she's like, Robin Hood, yeah, no, that was a long time ago. Like, she's clued into what the hell is happening now. I don't think she knows that Picard and stuff are there, but
no, I
don't know what she thinks. Did she get transported into a holodeck program? Like, what would you think? All of a sudden you wake up and you're, I don't know.
I think she's the sort of woman who, even with no information, can still run with it.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Go with the flow.
So, doesn't matter. She's playing the part. But you can just know... Well, I don't know. But I like Q's acting here a lot. It's very un-Q-like, but that's why it's interesting. Like, he's also committing to this bit.
And then I'm thinking, okay, well, they're holding on this shot very long. And then, no, it's because Picard's undercover in disguise there as the blacksmith guy. So I'm like, this should be cutting... What? Oh, okay. I forgot about that.
I didn't quite buy that either. I know that's how Robin Hood is so good about disguises, but he isn't Robin Hood.
Yeah.
I know he's, you could say, more talented because he's a trained Starfleet officer, and he has done, he was picked at covert ops with Beverly and Worf, etc. But it's like,
and he knows literature, so he knows that Robin Hood was good at that. And
it's like, really, you got all the way into his fortress, yet everyone knows your face. Okay. It's a little. Again, it's movie. There's a certain disconnect here, but the whole thing.
You're good, man.
Yeah. I don't know.
My thing is, how do you find the castle? They're in the middle of the forest. Follow the road. Hope you're heading the right direction. Like, you don't know where anything is. There's stupid little conceits like that in all storytelling that bother me, but they just usually glaze.
How would I solve that one? I guess you could argue that he obviously knows the novels and he knows, like, past the elm with the 4 split hoof trail and...
Oh, I don't think that's in the books. So.
Although, to be fair,
like they gotta ask a passing traveler.
Although, to be fair though, and this I liked when they asked later, this is an old era where it is pitch black except the light sources. So if he can get high enough, he can see where the castle is, because the tallest light, it's anything with light. So I could buy that. They're not, even 10 miles away. It's the only source of light in the. There's a village and there's a tall castle. So I think you're probably okay with that. But yeah, pitch black outside because it's the past.
And this is where he comes through the window, which she said she did earlier. Nice little synergy there.
Yes, and Michael T. High Desert Comic says, "Hi all. Hi Sam, just watched Squadron. Awesome work. Thank you so much."
Yes, I still have yet to see that. So.
I'm sure we'll talk about that at some point with the team. I don't know, there's some few interviews and be fun to talk about my many shots. But guys, do comment your thoughts. Super chat if you can. At least another $70. But I mean, likes were always good, and let us know what you think of this scene.
Mm-hmm. So now Vash knows that Picard's there as well. So that kind of changes the game a little bit. But I love how he's like, "Yes, I know." She's like, "How do you know?" And he's like, "I'm Robin Hood, bitch." At this point, if I was her, I'd be like, "Okay, this is some weird holodeck thing that you're doing.
That's true.
This is like taking role play to the extreme. You had me beamed in here."
Yeah. You would think some bigger explanation. Yeah.
Actually, it would have been great when they were talking about, her having the fever or whatever, not being herself. If she would have been like computer end program.
Yes.
That would have been great.
No, that is so missing. That is so missing. Yeah. And then maybe when after she slaps him, she's like, "Computer, delete."
Delete character.
Delete. Yeah, that would have been. No, that would have been really good. But but to be fair though, she's a civilian, so in her world, holodecks are much rarer.
True, but it's not like unheard of at all.
No, but it's maybe not the default you'd go to if you don't ever see them. Because we always take Starfleet to be the default, but those are the top brass, most advanced military craft for the best stuff. Of course, they got the best stuff, Anyway.
So she gets the explanation here that him and his command staff have been brought here by an old adversary named Q, who she doesn't know yet who that is. But yeah, we got to get out of here. And she's like, "What's the plan? We got to go. But our lives are in danger." "Yeah, you're telling me let's go." What is she doing here? Like, go with him. I understand that if they start running away, she's going to look bad and whatever. But anyway, it's just too much. Go out the window with them, for Christ's sakes.
Thanks, Alex. Appreciate it a lot. No, I agree. It's if she kept saying, "No, you explain first where we are," that would be more interesting. But yeah, she's waiting for people to come and get her, even though it's in the script. Therefore, the character knows somehow. It is weird. Yeah, it's just because she has to.
Well, I do like the turn here though, like where they come in and she's over his shoulder, like he's there to rescue her. He's taking her by force, and she turns it on him and puts a sword to him. Mm-hmm. That's great because she's building up. She's got a better chance instead of fighting their way out of the situation, fighting all the guards in the castle. She's got a better chance of playing it like this, not getting him killed, her still having the trust of the guy. Like, she's actually playing it very smart. Mm-hmm. but at the time you're like, oh, what is she doing? You know, but when you look at the alternate plan, like they would have had to fight all the guards to go to the castle, and it just wouldn't have worked.
Well, it does depend though. Assuming she even climbed down the stone, however the hell he got up. Like, we have no idea how he got up a castle. We have no idea how high they are. I assume on the edge of the castle, that's where you tend to put windows so you can see, like, you're past the walls, etc. We've already established that they can outrun the guards because they're in heavy armor, but she's in high heels. But it's like, I don't know. Like, if it should work because it's still stealth, except the fact that obviously they're going to come in and know she was gone. So because they know they're going to get caught in a minute they don't leave. It's a good turn. Although it also makes Picard meaningless for a good 10 minutes. Like, his urgency is now gone. He's now just a passive prisoner until a fight, which is okay, and then back. Like, he's now no longer interesting for the rest of the episode, which is sad.
But Q congratulates him on catching him, and she's like, no. He's like, no, she did it by herself with his own sword. And he's like, Again, I love the look on Q's face here. Good acting.
I think you misspoke. It's sexy Q says to him, congratulations. He's all lounging like, hello.
Yeah, hey, baby.
Yeah, that was good.
But she's writing a note to Riker. She wants this old lady to take it to him.
But me, madame?
Nice...
What?
It's the forest. It's dark. I'll get lost.
The wildlings will have me and make me their slave. Oh, no, you're too ugly. Oh, what? Oh.
Oh. But even she was tries to talk to her like, you had a better chance with Guy of Gisborne. He's, you'll be living in London before you know it.
Yes.
Anyway, then Q storms in and puts the letter behind her. Which I like. I like that they have a whole conversation before he realizes the paper's there and then reads it. Which then she's like, oh, so you're Q. Which is a nice reveal because she doesn't automatically know who Q is, right? So.
No, it's good. It's nice to have a genuine scene of sort of reveal, etc. It's like, oh.
A letter to Riker. Quick, come to the castle. Save the captain. Oh, this is wonderful. What marvelous duplicity.
Yeah. But I mean, I didn't for a second think that she was on their own side. It's not really a reveal so much as...
No.
Yeah.
But I love how Q's like, you're interesting, but I don't have time to get to know you better. Guards! So... double execution time. Oh... And then we get the courtyard with 4 monks that walk by, which, of course, are them now.
At this point, though, while I appreciate the effort, you are thinking, oh, yeah, this is all the set they have. You're now kind of tired of seeing the same set, especially as...
But that's why it reminds me of the old Errol Flynn movies, because they only had, like, small little sets.
Sure.
Like this. So.
But it is odd. You have the walkway to the official, like, place the lady lives. You have the dining table and you have the execution hall all in the same middle. It's like, I think you'd have different places for that. But I know we especially said, oh, I bet they had some sort of standing sets for their Sherlock Holmes one in season 1, and they were like, nope, they're all scratch built. So I guess it's all scratch built, which is pretty impressive. I mean, it sells it well as, I mean, it's obviously it's movie stone, but it's a pretty pretty big set for what they did and what they had. But obviously, at this point, like I say, I'm a bit tired of what we see, especially as they then fight on the exact same one piece of set.
Yeah.
So it's getting less, basically, it's getting less interesting by the scene, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the fun bit is over, where they get to have fun with the concept. Now they're just going through the motions. So while fun, it's not particularly fun, you know?
Yeah. Well, they get walked out, and they're bickering like a married couple. Like, I could have got away. Well, I stopped you from getting yourself killed. And what, you had no intention of giving you as a wedding gift? For, I had no intention of going through with that. You knew that. Do I?
Yes, you do. You're just annoyed.
Yep.
And then I do like the very cinematic reveal of everyone's like, look at camera, look at camera, turn, there's your light. There we go.
It was too much. Turn your face into the light. It's like,
yeah. It's such a thing. Yeah, it's good.
Uh, so we need a diversion now. So Data, you get to see some good inner workings of Data here. They got an old, it looks like a light bulb. It's actually a halogen light bulb from a car with the plastic part broken off. And then 2 little bath beads, maybe marbles. I don't know. And like I said, he tosses it in, and you can see it bounce, and then fall out closest to camera. Like, they should have probably done another take of that. Just saying.
I probably broke the prop, didn't they?
Loads.
But I definitely found this a little bit underwhelming.
What's that?
I don't find this quite underwhelming. Their little fight scene here. I know it's a very Trek fight scene, but if the whole point is they're massively outnumbered, then being in the middle of them isn't going to make them less outnumbered. And distraction means they can probably hit a couple, but they'll be outnumbered very quickly again. It would have been better to have like bows and arrows on,
Yes.
and then do like a multiple strike attack, or have Data who's got pinpoint accuracy go.
Or have the explosion kind of collapse one of the archways, so that no more guards can get in.
Yep.
You know.
It's a we have one set, we have 5 minutes, and we have $20 a budget. It doesn't.
We only have 10 minutes left of the episode, so
yeah. Especially with and it annoys me for many ways. The guards have armor, and yet the armor is less useful than skin in this episode.
Same with stormtroopers. Same with the fucking the guys at Stargate.
Jafar.
Jafar, yeah. It's like you think that their armor would be bullet resistant. No. You think they would make it bullet resistant after a time? Probably. Oh. It looks bullet resistant, but no. Anyway.
I mean, to be fair, they do use armor-piercing bullets, which are designed to pierce armor.
Well, yes, but still.
It's been in season 1, 2, 3, and 4 for sure.
It's super, like, Naquita enhanced metal.
No. It isn't, because Naquita's rare.
Well, I know. I'm saying it should be, because it's future tech, essentially. It's been around for thousands of years.
It is.
Should be able to stop a fucking armor-piercing bullet. That's another discussion for another day.
But I'll give for 1 second, though. They're only designed to fight swords, and they can defeat swords. They can stop swords. And it's not designed to fight against other Jafar, because Jafar are they don't care if Jafar died. Jafar are just there for status symbols. So if you lose 5,000 Jafar, doesn't matter. Like, they're only there to stop people with swords, and they can stop people with swords. Or besides, if a Jafar lets it go with a sword, come that close, you haven't shot them already, the staff weapon are a shit Jafar. So they're not used to fighting people in long range with accurate weapons.
But they got the staff weapons and shit. Like, you think the armor would be resistant to a staff weapon blast or something. At least 1 or 2. I don't know, it's just... This is a whole other.
But that's when the Coal will show up anyway. It took that level of advanced technology to do that. And besides, it's like technology. As soon as the first Gould had armor resistant to staffs, they designed better staffs that could defeat the armor resistant staffs, and then everyone would. So I think that's kind of the point. And that's why P90s. That's why I do wish, though, you're right. I wish they'd had in the first 4 seasons. They'd not be as effective. And then P90s come on, which are literally armor-piercing rounds, and then they suddenly gets burned. That would have been nice to have that. Like, that's why we swap, because MP5 suck, because 9mm don't have that much stopping power. Welcome to Fleet Yards Live, guys. We're talking about Stargate. Do I have an OBS Stargate weapons Live? And armor. There's Star Wars, there's us, there's Discovery. And 3 of them have your face as big, so not really. Anyway. All right. Well, anyway, this is where Guy of Gisborne says, "I'll have you know I am the greatest swordsman in all of Nottingham," which comes in important like 2 minutes later. And by that point... Says, and you should know I'm not from Nottingham. I totally forgot he said I'm the greatest swordsman. It was such a long... I didn't. I was waiting for a follow-up. It was too long for sure. Yeah, and it's not a good follow-up. No. Because he should have said, "Who are you then?" "I'm Captain Jean-Luc Picard." Like, there's no... How is that a big thing? Or he should have said, "And I studied 45 years of fencing." Like, I don't know. It's not really good payoff there. But yeah, they fight. It's underwhelming. It's fine. Stunt doubles fight. They don't fight. Stunt doubles fight, yeah. And yeah. So we do have the ladies hitting people over the head. I didn't mind they did it. I minded that they've got helmets, you know. Well, it's the thing is you're supposed to hit them in the back of the neck, between the helmet and the thing. So that's... Yeah, but They didn't, and that the armor is meant to protect against that. So that was even more stupid. Also, Geordi just stabs a guy. Like, these people are sentient. Like, Geordi does just stab a guy, like, and then Picard stabs a guy later. Like, there's no taking prisoners. It's just, yeah, we're gonna kill. Straight out kill. Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, boy, that stunt, when the guy falls down, that is a stunt. That looked like a hard landing.
Stuntman for the win.
Wow, that was a quick summation of the fight, because there was nothing to talk about in the fight.
There's nothing to talk about in the fight.
It wasn't a very good fight. But he comes in and kisses the girl, and I love he didn't think he was going to do that, but he did it anyway. Like, that was a pure instinct, you know? I'm the hero of this tale. Mwah. Oh, wow, that says something. So I like that bit.
All right, so here we go with the lesson learned, I guess.
Yeah.
Picard's like, if you have hurt any of my people, sadly enough, they're all fine. But my point is, they could have been killed, and so might have you, all for the love of a maid. My debt to you, Picard, is paid. If you learned how weak and vulnerable you really are, if you finally see how love has brought out the worst in you. And then she's like, nonsense, blood brought out the best in him, blah, blah, blah. But the point is, they would have risked their lives for anybody, not just somebody that the captain loved.
Even possibly for Q if he was in human form.
Absolutely, and that point should have been brought up. We would have done this for you, Q, if you were helpless as well.
Yeah. And then when she says, it brought the best in him, like, no, it didn't. He stabbed a guy. He fought a guy. He beat some people up. He failed. Like, it actually brought really bad things in him. He's always courageous, brave, and honourable. He wasn't very... He actively didn't use his team. He was reckless, stupid. It brought the worst in him, actually. Like, the dialogue doesn't work. You're right. It's not a good lesson. It doesn't work. It's poorly thought out. And honestly, it does make the episode fall down a bit. It's like, but yes. What happened? Like, did they not read the script? And Q's delivering it, like, he's selling it as if, and this is the moral we've all been knowing from day one. And you're like, no, it's not, though. You're wrong. He sells it, though. But
see, it could also be, too, that he thinks he's repaid his debt and taught him a lesson, and everybody else is like, you haven't taught us anything. But he's justifying it to himself, so he won't be eating at him that he owes them a debt still.
Yeah.
His plan failed, essentially, because she played along with it and surprised him, and... To be fair, she would have been fine had they not come in to rescue her. She wasn't going to get executed. The whole thing was, you can stay here in the forest all night. In the morning or tomorrow, you'll be back on your ship. Everybody will be fine, but she'll be dead. But the fact is, she played along, so they didn't really have to go save her because he had only made this thing have free will in its own sense of what's going to happen for a day. Like, so really, the whole thing was for naught anyway. In many regards.
But they look nice together in their costume. A nice looking couple.
Always looking for the positive and everything.
I mean, you're right. What can I say? You're really right. That's such a good, Stuart, we're not meant to analyse this episode fully. Like, this is more deep than you're meant to go. And it's sad because it's TNG,
Well, it's just showing that not all Star Trek is perfect. Anyway. So they all flash back in, and is everyone here? Where's Vash? She's not on board the Enterprise. It's like, oh, shit.
But there's not the correct amount of concern.
No, it's just like, oh, I'm sad now. I'm going to walk up to my ready room.
But it's like, where is she then? Like, you'd be concerned? It's another big disconnect.
There's also nothing you can do about it, because it's Q controlled, so... If he's not there to ask questions to,
you would still yell out to him.
I hate that he does that too. By the way, it's over, Q. Stop this now. It's like, you don't have to yell. It's like fucking Riker. Riker, every time that he touches his communicator and he's talking to the ship, Riker here. Like, what the fuck are you looking at? You're looking at the ship.
Yes.
I know you're supposed to look at the people you're talking to. They teach you that in like basic human being 101, but. All the time. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. But yeah, speaking of weird, she's in this random outfit, and it's a bit weird, and certainly out of nowhere.
Outfit. It's a Probably hunter up, but yeah. But yeah, Q had some things to talk to me about, and we're basically, you still care. That's awesome. I'm gonna miss you. Okay, where you going to now? Well, I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet. And all of a sudden, Q comes in and says, "Well, we have a whole universe. She has a whole universe to choose from." And she's like, "Meet my new partner, him. Why not?" Now, Jean-Luc, let's not be unkind. He's devious and immoral and unreliable and irresponsible and definitely not to be trusted. And she's like, "Remind you of anybody?" Yes, actually it does, because that's you. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
It is, but there's a strange. This is my partner, and he puts his arm over her, like, I'm going to take good care of her. Like, it's almost sexual. Like, you didn't want to take her out, so I'm going to take her.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know why there's a sexual tension. Like, not that you always need to be man and girl equal sex, but like the way he plays it is too friendly to her, and they've just set up the bond.
We also don't know how long they've been gone. They could have been talking about this for a long time.
No, that would have been good. That would have been good. But it feels, and also matching outfits, it feels like they've just got together and are a couple. And he feels like this, and given how much younger they both look in this scene, especially, he feels like the old dad. Like it's like the still film.
No, he does not look that much older than her.
Well, in the long shots though, she looks younger. Close-ups, no, she doesn't. But like both full heads of hair. He's in this not very good outfit for that. Like it just feels less good. And then it's awkward. It's like, oh, you should say bye to her, even though I'm taking her everywhere. It's just weird. It's just, and he's not friendly enough. You'd think this is the time to soften. I don't know.
Well, he promises to take good care of her, and he want to give her a last kiss. She's like, "Yeah, do ya?" And then he shows up. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot my hat. It's just it's a cute little funny scene. I like it.
That is funny, yeah. So
and then the kiss, and then she puts on her hat and says, "Goodbye, Jean-Luc. Will we ever see her? Who knows?"
I don't know. I was really hoping though when Q taps to Q out, I was hoping she was gonna do the same thing. I thought that would have been kind of funny. Not that she has the power, just that it's like they've got a trigger. Because, if she's stuck in the middle of the universe without the ability to queue out, it'd be nice if he gives her like a way of accessing the teleport, Yeah,
you pinch the skin right there.
That's a reference to something, isn't it?
Yeah. In a dream state or something to wake yourself up.
There you go. Inception.
The fuck is it from, though?
That's what I remember it from.
No, it's not from Inception. It's from something else that I saw. Anyway, I haven't seen Inception yet, so.
You've not seen Inception?
I have not seen Inception. I know I'm not going to do a first watch review discussion about it.
No, why would we? That's a weird one to do on. Why have you not seen Inception? That's such a classic.
I have no idea.
Huh. But the Boam. You weren't enthused by the Boam?
Boom.
Exactly.
No.
Okay. So there you go.
Anyhow.
Done.
Like dinner, but dinner's not done. I said I'm gonna make dinner. Probably just doing frozen pizza just before you ask. Anyway, yeah. So in review, guys, super chat your scores if you want. We didn't even come close to what we normally do for a review, which is odd, but that's okay. You can't all be winners.
We're like at 25% of what we normally do. It's strange. Yeah. It's as if and also just less people in the chat do mean less active. It kind of feels like it's been a sleepy live. Not we're still doing, but yeah.
That's okay. If you can super chat your scores, I will read them after we're done our little analysis and scoring here. Any non-super chat scores, Samuel will read. But if you could consider helping out, that'd be great. So yeah, this one was fun. Like I said, the first part I really enjoyed. I thought was a lot better. I wanted to hear the goddamn speech. That's how good the first part was written. And yeah, it would have been a lot better to have this be 2 episodes because she was a lot better as a character in the first one. And even when she comes back in Deep Space Nine, she's not. I don't know. The character wasn't done justice in the second half of this episode at all. And I really would have liked to see more of what we got in the first part of this. Just a totally different episode, honestly.
And I have no idea. I kind of have no memory of what she does in DS9 one. No idea. Which is bad because you'd think it'd be memorable.
Should I tell you?
No. Thanks. Save it for
It's really well done. The way it's played is really good.
Well, because it's a season 1 episode, so when we start, we'll get it done pretty quickly. So.
Yeah. Anyway, so I enjoyed this one, but like I said, every time I think of this, I only think of the Sherwood Forest thing, which I think is more of the episode, and it's really not. It is 50-50, pretty split. But even though there's nothing there and no sets really, you're right. The second half feels a lot longer than the first half, and that's, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Not in a good way.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the first half. There's a lot of good interplay between everybody, like even Beverly and Picard and that kind of playfulness, and
even
Riker.
Troy and everyone else. Even her little moments are well played.
Yeah, even Worf doing his job, being security. Like everybody, except for Data and LaForge, they didn't really have much to do at all.
And just for a brief thing, the director, I was again wondering, he's just a brand new director. No, he's the guy who did Best of Both Worlds 1 and 2, Hollow Pursuit, Matter of Perspective, Hunted, Ensigns of Command, Emissary, Royale, Hiding Q, Suspicious, Unification 2, Redemption, Defiant from DS9. Like, he's one of the big ones, and he did not direct this one as well. This is not, I would not call a well-directed episode.
Interesting. Yeah, so for me, honestly, it's for this season, it's probably going to be a 5 out of 10 for me. It's all right. It's fun enough, but
the problem is it's got the iconic factor. But that almost feels like, yeah, but
that's the thing. Yeah, you got a recurring character of Q and Vash, and you know, for all of TNG, oh my god, it's gonna have to still be a 5.5. Yeah, I really went into this one thinking I was going to score it a lot higher, but after having talked about it and stuff, it's just like, no, I can't justify it. Sorry.
No, and I went in thinking, I hope this holds up. Having watched it, I thought this holds up, and we talked about it, and I don't think it holds up in the same way. Which is weird. Like, normally, that's rare for us to really go down in the same way. It's not what I was expecting. Because I enjoyed it, watching it. I enjoy watching it. But not so much talking about it. Because there's nothing to talk about, really. Even, obviously, we talk about the scenes, but they're not filled with stuff. They're just stuff. It's weird. It's really weird. Maybe that's why people have enjoyed doing this one. Maybe they also knew it was kind of a not really a discussy one. Maybe. Actually,
the audience reaction is always important and surprising sometimes. So this has been a surprise for sure.
Yeah, so for me, like I said, I mirror a lot of the same things. First off, was better than I thought, but I had no memories of it. I really liked seeing Patrick and Picard act in ways we haven't really seen before. Vash was really even more interesting in the first episode because she had genuine kind of affection for Picard. She's not the sort of woman that's going to settle down or even ask for a boyfriend, but you like who you like and you'll bang him again if you want to, and that's fine. Like, it's the future. Cool, whatever. So that was nice. And she felt very genuine there. But like you said, it falls apart for her character, especially in the second half. While she's still good in it, she's just, who cares? It's all about, it's about the gimmick, not about the story or about the characters. If it was 2 episodes, or even I say that often, but a 2-parter, first part is about whatever, second part is about this, and really kind of give everyone something to do. Make the escape plan a big chunk. Have Picard escape. Go back. Have Riker say, I told you so. He's like, I'm sorry, right, number 1. I'll trust you next time. Let's work out a plan.
What they had to do is have Riker and them waiting and be like, he's been gone a long time. And then them formulate a plan as to go get him. Because even though, like, that would have been fine.
Or something as simple as you see Picard go in the window and then you cut to nighttime, they're in the underbrush and they're actually watching him. And they're like, and Worf's like, should we go in? No, we'll wait. Because he didn't follow orders, they all went anyway. Like, that would have helped a lot. Or even just Riker and Worf. Everyone else, or Data with his night vision.
Yes, I was just going to say that. Have him, like, zoom in or something.
Yeah, Data. But it's not about, that's the problem. It's not, that's if you're doing a real story, it's not about that. There isn't a real story here. There's a gimmick and an end. As in for the second half. So it's weird. Yeah, score-wise, I was in the 7 realm having watched it because the icon factor helps. But I don't know. It's like, does one moment of infamy and fame give a value? It can't, can it? Really? Oh, I don't know.
So you got to take Q out of it, and let's say it was some random alien that they were having a diplomatic relations with or something, and they wanted to teach humans a lesson or how they whatever. And if we could take Q out of it and replace him with anybody else, would it be as iconic and memorable?
Well,
just seeing our crew in different getup, like something, we have a little bit of fun, maybe. But
well, does the alien still put them in Sherwood? A version of Sherwood? Even
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, Q didn't add that much. Weirdly, like in the moment he did, but in the grand scheme, didn't really.
He only links it to the last one he was in, owing a debt, which is a stretch to say the least, and tying it to Vash being able to do all these adventures and maybe come back at some point in the future with some weird, whatever. So that's the only thing he adds to it.
But the thing is, the simple premise of him giving back is a full episode. Like, where could that lead? Like, that could be anything. That could be a really...
Offer Picard a whole bunch of things. See Picard in a bunch of different situations where he gets things he thinks he wants.
Makes him CNC a Starfleet, and you see an alternate universe where he's now CNC, like the alternate tapestry. That could be really fun.
Yeah.
I will have to give it a... I think I'm going to have to do the reverse of you and say 5.5 for this season, but 5 overall.
Okay. Because
all of TNG is such a broad spectrum. It'd be hard to justify. But that's weird because it's fun, but it's like it's just hollow. It's hollow, half of it.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it's probably enjoyment factor 7, but quality of episode.
Yes. No, I agree.
And that's what we've got to review it for, because we're trying to be unbalanced, etc.
Because I thought I was going to go in and give it a 7.5. I kind of had that score in my mind before I started watching it, and just kind of didn't go like I planned. Herbster Magus puts in $2. Picard and Dr. Crusher bang a lot. Their quotes breakfast time. Maybe they're friends with benefits. The Doctor knows the importance of a good sex life, and keeping the captain on game.
Endorphins are good for the blood pressure, especially at his age.
Yeah.
He's like 70 at this point. So
they just celebrate. They have breakfast together, and sometimes they do.
I mean, that.
I mean, they always do afterwards.
Because that dress, it just comes off. Like, that's why it's just... And then...
That was a nice sweater that she was wearing, I gotta say.
It's a one piece. There's nothing else underneath it. So, yeah, guys, give us your score, please. I didn't see many scores in the chat. I would like to know. I feel like we're going to be a bit low, but I think we both justified it quite well. And, yeah, Super Chat, if you can. A couple of minutes. Yeah.
So we do have a few scores in the chat, though. Which are kind of all over the place, to be honest.
Which is interesting. Because honestly, I thought you were going to love this one. I thought you were going to be like, oh, I love the gimmick.
Me?
Oh,
wow. Surprise.
Well, because you like, old world. Yes, seriously. You like old worldy stuff anyway. Bye, Deborah. I mean, if you want to read the... Nope, okay, I'll read the Super Chat score. We've got a 5, 5.5, 7, 4.5, 8, 7, 6.5, 10.
Ooh.
Dang. 6.
See,
6.
That's the thing, too. This can't even get a 10 out of 10 for only Q episodes.
No.
This is like one of the worst Q episodes, too. So, like, even if you bunch it with all the Q episodes and just ranked all those, this would not be near the top for me.
And it's not even because it's a bad episode. It's just he's, like, in it. Like, it's not focused enough, on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird. Whereas I do appreciate that at least Measure of Man held up, because we were both a bit dubious going, like, we haven't, is this going to be... It was. It still was, apart from the start. Miniature shot, ugh. But this, no, it hasn't held up properly, at least in the way, Yeah, weird.
Oh.
Yeah, all right.
I'm just looking at the next one we have to review, Drumhead. Oh, it's going to be...
I barely remember that one, so I'm excited. Oh.
Sorry, what'd you say? You were going to say something. And
Barely remember it. But I know it's amazing. I know it's I don't remember the meat of the story, so I'm excited to watch that for sure.
I remember it, and yeah, it's going to be, it's going to be a lot to talk about, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I know there's one character I absolutely fucking despise.
Excellent.
At least one. Can you figure out who it is, Samuel?
Picard.
No.
Troy.
Well, when you watch it and we do the review, I'll ask you.
Can
you find out who I despise?
Is that name Saturday?
Oh,
is that close enough? Saturday?
To who? What?
The Admiral. The Admiral's name is Saturday.
What Admiral?
In the episode. Is that a name?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the person you were going to hate, so. Yeah.
Matt Boardman, $5 sniping. Oh, look at that. Hey, Matt. All right, last super chat slot is Matt's apparently. I tell you what,
can we get $3? Because at least I'll... 3 or 13. 13 would be obviously better.
Yeah.
But 3 would be nice. But I've had a nice discussion, Stuart. I've never thought about this one as much as I could have. Like, I've never thought about it specifically. Do you want to reveal our top 10 for this week?
Yes, we're doing a top 10 probably on Friday is our guess. And it's going to be the top 10 Klingons. Yes. Kind of in honor of Christopher Plummer. It doesn't mean he gets first place slot, though. It's not like it's, but in honor of him, and it was Samuel's idea. Oh, I'm frozen. There we go. Now I'm back. This was Samuel's idea, and I think it's a great idea. So yeah, top 10 favorite Klingons will be on Friday. So come with your lists, and looking forward to hearing what you guys think as well.
And we know that we are a Trek ship show, but also some episode reviews. We're not here to do memorial videos. So we don't do politics. We don't do other stuff. We can. Like, I know we mentioned Renee on a live while we're doing it, and we did one for Aaron because we both knew him a bit. That was a bit more personal. Mira Furlong just passed. That's really sad. I met her twice last year. But we don't just do them for the sake of it. So this makes sense to me, and obviously to you as well, because it's like, we just did an episode talk about the best villains. He was in that.
The day before, and the last part of the live was talking about Chang.
And we're doing top 10s a little bit. This is a great test. There's a lot of great Klingons I'd love to see. Like, we know who the top 3 were probably going to be, give or take, but it's that everyone else and where they're going to fit. Like, there's some really good Klingons if you could start to go abstract. So that's exciting to me. So I thought this was a good way of honouring him, but still makes sense to the Trekyards brand. So hopefully you guys will tune in for that. Because, icon for that.
Matt Boardman, $13. Shoots an arrow into Data. Well, your aim's improving, sir.
That's true. Yeah. But he's fine. Oh. I mean, he's not going to complain too much. Cool. But maybe. Oh, no, that's all right. But yes, cool. So, yeah, hopefully guys will tune in for that. I'm excited for them. Like I say, it's more about the other ones we're going to pick are going to be interesting.
So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. You know the routine. Bell notification icon to all. So, and check Facebook and stuff because we're letting you know whether it's Thursday or Friday. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Friday for that live. So just keep that in mind, guys.
And we did do a large filming session today, guys. Do you want to tease briefly how cool, not cool? Yeah.
It's, it's cool. There's some cool stuff. I don't want to give too much away. But
more just a vibe tease. Like, we did some filming today. Real filming, real Saturday stuff.
Yeah, we got 4 episodes cranked out. So, and we got more to do later this week. Tuesday and Wednesday, though, this week. Tomorrow and the day after are not going to be good for me because I'm getting the windows in my house replaced, which fucking stresses me out. Yeah. I want to see how they do it, considering it's goddamn cold out and it's going to be snowing those 2 days. So, it'll be interesting to see. I'm going to be stressed out that people are in my house, ripping my house apart.
So, guys, can we get some good luck to Stuart for his massive house renovations? Because the house is getting deconstructed, get reconstructed.
And just for the record, these were bought in September. $14,000 worth of windows. Ordered in September, and because of COVID, they've saying maybe January is when you'll get them. No, maybe February. We'll push it to February. Sure enough, it's February when we get the call. But because of COVID, because the windows need to be custom made, it's just like, really? And you're doing it now. You can't wait till the spring now when the nice weather's here. Anyway, I'm stressed out about it. So there you go.
So we wish him lots of luck.
That's right.
And
Squadron Course, though. Oh, so go ahead.
Fine.
Squadron Course, $5. I agree. This episode deserves a 5. Last. You're not last because Australia, which is not real. Just ask a flat earther. Puts in $5 Australian.
Such a silly name.
So, is that even real money then? Does that even count as a super chat?
It's flat money.
Ooh, but is it real money? Because Australia doesn't exist, and it's Australian $5.
Is the world flat? I mean, that's the question. If the flat money's real,
it's clearly not.
Well, there you go.
Anyone that thinks the world is flat, they should not be watching Trekyards because don't get me started. Anyway, I love my Star Trek, but whenever we go into details about it, I realize how stupid it is. Some of it is. Some of it's very stupid. And that's the thing, though. You got to have that mindset to realize that not everything's perfect, or
Which is why it's super important when we can call out Discovery and the new Treks for being that was really brilliant, because a bad is a bad and a good is a good. Please give it the credit, especially in the context of like last week we said Picard was not actually in character. Those things are important. And this week he was like, oh, so much character, and then goatee.
Yeah. Reese York throws in $25 Canadian and says, from the Strange New Worlds crew.
And I can confirm.
He works on Strange New Worlds? Reese.
So for all those that were saying things are cancelled, nope. Chap that's working on it directly. So there you go. Definitely a working show. And considering we just saw Pike and Spock, Spock dancing to SpongeBob, it's really. I hope they're filming soon because I want to see those guys back in action.
And it's Canadian, so he's probably in Vancouver or Toronto. Where are you working from? Let us know. Michael T, High Desert Comics, $5. Had fun, guys. Thanks for the years of content. No problems. Thank you.
And I am gonna reshare this picture because of if he's on the set, he might have just seen them. One of my fun little pictures.
Yeah, and Reese, let the Strange New World people know that Trekyards is the thing to watch because we know Trek. If they watch us, they'll hit a home run, and everyone will love it.
Yes, and there's me sharing a beer with Ethan Peck.
Oh, very nice.
So it's always a bit dodgy and quote unquote to get a selfie when you're actually working at a convention with them, but the moment felt right. So take the opportunity when you got it. Lovely guy.
Squadron
I've met a lot of
$2.
celebrities, so when I say that, I have a lot of experience in knowing what I'm saying.
Yes. Squadron Course, $2. Woot for Strange New Worlds.
Just crossing our fingers, they changed the paint scheme to a more TOS paint scheme on the outer hull. Come on, guys. Give us that paint scheme. You don't need to... And lose the pylon slits. 2 things. That's it. 2 things. We're rocking, we're rolling.
Straighten the struts.
Well...
Because they were designed to be straight, they should be straight. Stop. No, there's no there's none of that shit. No. That was a visual effects department idea, and no.
Episode 1 Strange New Worlds. Captain Pike, we've gone through another refit. We've now half the size of the ship. Because that's the cat.
But you do realize that that's not how things work. Somebody doesn't design a car, it gets approved, and on the production line, they're like, I think that fender should flare out a little bit more. No. That's not how that shit works. So... make this pylon straight, guys, please. That's all we ask.
And then sell Eagle Moss models of it, because it's a nice enterprise.
The variation, yes.
But you know what? They made the version in Stowe, and it looked really good. Because they changed the paint scheme, and it was all... Yeah, they knocked out the
made it
park
right?
there.
Oh, yeah, okay. That always helps when they make things right. Anyway. Good to see you.
Stranger Worlds. Excellent name for a
it.
series. Very, very good name for a...
Yes,
very good name.
we're looking forward to it. Hopefully it lives up to the name for sure, because that's a good one. Anyway, guys.
Right. On that note.
That was a pretty successful end of things.
Yes. We doubled.
Could honestly do with $17 more, but, we're not going to get that.
Oh.
We're probably going to close out soon. So.
And yes, Michael says, yes, Squadron, the Star Trek fan film, 4 Norways in a squadron, huh? Do check it out now. Just Google Squadron Star Trek fan film. It's in the Czech language, but it's absolutely worth watching. Visuals are great. They built their own set, etc. And I did visuals for that. Visual effects for part 2 anyway. I've got 2 shots in part 1 and like 27 in part 2. And I will say, I don't think either of us were the biggest fan of the Norway originally. Not that it was the least of our favourite First Contact, but having now worked with it from a lot of angles, it has definitely grown on me. I did get to redesign it, which does help. I got to see my own version fly. To be fair,
it's better than the Steam Runner. I'll say that.
Yes, if they'd to the Steam, that would have been a one. That would have been a one to try and like improve. Like, let's make this one less Steam Runnery. Great, but my Norway, I really like it. I definitely, that one. If you've never liked this Norway, you will absolutely like the Norway after that movie. And I look forward to working with them again.
Matt Boardman is amazing. Throws in $20 and says, boom.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
He just made the whole live worth it because we hit our like minimum.
This is very true.
They can't all be perfect, and some of them outperform. The other night, on Friday, I did a truth or drink and did really well on that. So... It all balances out. Speaking of, people really like the truth and drink format, but they couldn't quite find what I wouldn't answer, so I didn't get drunk at all. Because I'll answer pretty much anything. There's a few things that are kind of off limits, but everybody tried, and they failed miserably.
I bet you I could find those instantly. Like, I know you a lot better.
You probably could. Oh, yeah, you could, for sure. But
although, can we just have a slight, like, surrealness that 2 people worked on Star Trek both, like... Two people worked on Star Trek both upped our amount to now we've got a stable low amount. That's a bit funny, isn't it? Both worked on Star Trek. We hope you do guys justice. And we'll see you soon for another one. We have a plan to do one on Thursday.
Yes.
Like I said, good luck, Stuart, to your
Thank you.
bits and bobs. And I did we did do some really good stuff today and last week, and I'm really excited to see some of the guys, see where you guys are responding. I did some more stuff today. Matt's seen some of the preview stuff. And
we have more stuff to film Thursday and Friday as well before our live. So there's going to be a lot of content. So don't worry.
And we've made an effort to like jump up now with post Discovery, where we kind of like enjoyed the same formula. We've kind of leveled up a little bit. And I know Stuart wasn't seeing one of the aspects, one of the aspects, but hopefully when he sees a full version, like, this is better, just a bit better. So cross the fingers, guys.
All right, guys. I seriously have to go make some food, though.
Yes.
This one went a lot longer than I thought, which was odd, longer, and yet it's weird. It's a weird one, guys. So,
as was Qpid.
Right. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Until next time, he's Commander Kaki.
He's Captain Foley. Bye, guys.
I am.